Straight Talk Society. This is your host, Trevor, and I'm back with another episode of Straight Talk with Trevor.
Because the ladies from Pour Your Heart Out
no topic
will be over
is
here
off
to
limits.
join the panel.
Plus, but it's a must, you gon' respect this. Plus, your nuts will touch the dust, you try to check this. You ain't
The
insane.
MMA brothers, Bones and Zay, have pre and post shows to the MMA shows, and I am your host, Mr. Straight Talk, the man with the greatest beard on YouTube.
I'm gonna tell you something. Facial hair is not apostolic. However you want to cut it, it's compromise. I don't care if your leader says you can wear a beard, honey. Beard's nothing more than pride. You're not going to be dipped in Holy Ghost oil and run around looking like the world.
Oh, I love throwing that in there. Real quick, I am back on Facebook. I guess they took me out of jail. I was able to connect the channel back. Those of you on Facebook, make sure and hit that like, share, and subscribe button.
And also on Mondays, 6 o'clock, tune in to the same channel for Man Talk Monday. Trust me, you ain't got nothing better to do. Even if you think you do and you tune into that show, you're going to realize, oh, man,
okay,
I've been missing this.
Yeah. Because this is why you need me.
Once you listen to that, drop a like. And if you haven't already subscribed to the channel because you're hard-headed, go ahead and subscribe to it
They
now.
are goofy.
And when you listen to that, if you haven't subscribed, you're going to want to subscribe. And then you're going to want to go back through the archives. And you're going to want to catch up on all your Man Talk Mondays. And then you might be able to find a few Bible debates in there.
That's what I'm going to say. TFP Politics is on Tuesday.
Vancat, Mike, MD, and Ricardo do such a fantastic job with that. That's every Tuesday at 6 o'clock.
My position is impregnable. You can't do it.
If that doesn't fancy your boat,
yeah, Wrestling with Reality on Wednesday.
Oh yeah, acknowledge.
We have the return of Straight Talk Therapy Sessions with the one and only Dr. Mia. So y'all be sure and tune into that.
And then you got the Bible debates on Thursdays.
So yeah, man, lock in with the Straight Talk Society, man, because you won't regret it, and we appreciate it. Also, milk coming out too. Look out for the merch. And if y'all can be so kind as to subscribe to the channel, it's only $1.99 a month. With all this premium content that we pushing out, it's definitely worth it. It just helps provide the channel with a resource to give y'all even better content, as if it can get better, right? But you know, just go ahead and show us some love. We would be greatly appreciative.
The Straight Talk Society. We will not go over that 2.5 hour mark. So, Mike, you know you ain't got no shirt on, right?
I never have clothes on, bro.
But I'm saying you like right on the. Like
my bad. I don't like clothes, bro. Anybody that knows me, my fault.
Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
I want that.
Real authentic Jamaican street food. Because this you're getting real cooking.
What on?
Get the syrup. Did you matter, Michelle? Get the syrup. Slow it down now. Slow it down. Yeah.
Yeah, man. I'm going to take my glory when me creating myself and give Jesus.
Make the nice you always make now. But the nice guy don't want to work for you look at dead dogs. Make the nice.
Monkeys.
Yeah, them place how we eat. And this you get the real flavor of the island.
Huh? We can make a dinner for people. A big dinner for like a whole family.
Yeah, but I am me some Doctor. What the What the heck? What the heck? I had my mouth. What the
Do you really believe that garbage?
It's not about believing, it's a matter of fact.
So you believe.
Well, nobody else could make a decision but me because I was the president, and the final decision comes to the president.
You know, it's easy enough for a Monday morning quarterback to say what the coach should have done after the game's over. But when the decision is up before you, and on my desk I have a motto which says the buck stops here, the decision has to be made.
And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country.
And I want to say this to the television audience. I made my mistakes. But in all of my years of public life, I have never profited from public service. I've earned every cent. And in all of my years of public life, I have never obstructed justice. And I think, too, that I could say that in my years of public life, that I welcome this kind of examination, because people have got to know whether or not their president's a crook. Well, I'm not a crook. I've earned everything I've got.
President?
Yep.
Mr. President, I want to raise an issue that I think has been lurking out there for 2 or 3 weeks and cast it specifically in national security terms. You already are the oldest president in history, and some of your staff say you were retired after your most recent encounter with Mr. Mondale. I recall yet that President Kennedy had to go for days on end with very little sleep during the Cuba Missile Crisis. Is there any doubt in your mind that you would be able to function in such circumstances? Not at all, Mr. Truitt, and I want you to know that also I will not make age an issue of this campaign. I am not going to exploit for political purposes my opponent's youth and inexperience.
And I'm the one who will not raise taxes. My opponent now says he'll raise them as a last resort or a third resort. But when a politician talks like that, you know that's one resort he'll be checking into. And my opponent won't rule out raising taxes, but I will, and the Congress will push me to raise taxes, and I'll say no. And they'll push, and I'll say no. And they'll push again, and I'll say to them, read my lips. No new
Oh, shit. Here we go again.
You're full of shit.
All right, thank you.
No, shush. Shush.
In any country, prison is where society sends its failures. But in this country, society itself is failing.
I'd like to punch him in the face, I'll tell you.
We won the evangelicals. We won with young. We won with old. We won with highly educated. We won with poorly educated. I love the poorly educated.
You crazy.
Grab him by the pussy.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Stay more tough guy. Yeah. Because you don't know what you're talking about. Yes, I did.
Hold it, tough guy. I'm not afraid of physical. Hold it.
Don't sit there and tell me I'm not.
There's an old saying in Tennessee, I know it's in Texas, probably in Tennessee, that says, fool me once, shame on you. You fool me, we can't get fooled again.
bringing drugs, they're bringing crime, they're rapists, and some, I assume, are good people. Stand back and stand by. Would you shut up, man?
Last thing was Olivia Gondak. It says that I wanted to eat her pussy. Olivia Gondak. I've never said that in my life to her. I would never do that. I'm happily married. I've got more than enough to eat at home. Thank you very much.
You got to come see us when you come to New York, VP Biden.
I will.
It's a long way until November. We got more questions.
You got more questions, but I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black.
Okay. I could stand in the middle of Fifth Avenue and shoot somebody, and I wouldn't lose any voters, okay? It's like incredible. I went to an Ivy League school. I'm very highly educated. I know words. I have the best words. We now have a gun on every table. We're ready to start shooting.
By the way, maybe you could inject some bleach in your arm, and that would take care of it. This is the same man.
Sarcastic.
That was...
Even though they're trying to impeach the son of a bitch. Can you believe that? You believe that? That's enough. Put down the mic.
Mr. President, are you worried about indictments coming down in this investigation?
Punch him in the face, I'll tell you.
If I may ask
Peter,
one other
ahead.
question, are you worried?
That's enough. That's enough.
Mr. President, I was going to ask one other.
I don't want reality. I'm asking the question: which one is better? That's exactly what it is.
Got it on tape.
What a stupid son of a bitch.
I don't like words that hide the truth. I don't like words that conceal reality. I don't like euphemisms or euphemistic language. And American English is loaded with euphemisms because Americans have a lot of trouble dealing with reality. Americans have trouble facing the truth. So they invent a kind of a soft language to protect themselves from it. And it gets worse with every generation. For some reason, it just keeps getting worse.
How stupid are these politicians to allow this to happen?
If you want to run your mouth, we can be two consenting adults. We can finish it here.
Okay, that's fine. Perfect.
You want to do it now?
I'd love to do it right now.
Well, stand your butt up then.
You stand your butt up.
Oh, hold on.
Big guy.
Oh, stop it.
Is that your solution every poll?
No, sit down. Sit down. Okay, you.
You're saying it's a falsehood, and they're giving Sean Spicer, our press secretary, gave alternative facts. Alternative facts. Alternative facts. Alternative facts.
All right, here we go again for another TFP Tuesday. This is Van Cat, and once again, I'm here with the world's most dangerous political panel. And on the panel tonight, we have MD. What's going on, MD?
Peace, peace, peace. What's going on? What's happening? Send in traffic. What's going on?
Oh, man. Yeah, I hear you. All right. And then also on the panel, of course, we got Ricardo. What's going on, Ricardo?
I'm good. What's up? Tape for politics. I'm also stuck in traffic.
This is a traffic stuck day, I see. All right. Well, we just wanted to go over today's show, which is, of course, episode 2022. And it is Politics of Blackness, Part 2. We did the Politics of Blackness, the first edition a few weeks ago. It was a very good show, very entertaining and insightful show. We just talked about different I don't know, I guess like policies or tendencies within the Black community. And so we'll be continuing that today. Trevor, hold on. Trevor sent a message here. I'm doing some work. I'll be in and out. Okay, so Trevor was on the panel on the last show, so he'll be in and out on this show. So with this show, I'm gonna have about 3 topics that we'll discuss relating to the Black community, and we'll get everyone's insight on that. And then after that point, it'll be more of an open forum to get from the panel like certain subjects or other issues we want to talk about relating to that. This is Black History Month, so this is a perfect time to do the politics of blackness too. So for the first topic that we want to start on, I think it'll probably be appropriate here. This is a topic that I usually just hear when concerning Black people, even though I think this is a people thing, but all my life I've always heard it associated with Black people. And that topic is crabs in the bucket. Anyone not familiar with crabs in the bucket? It's the idea, the tendency of when someone is upward mobile, they're moving up, and then the people in the back pull them back down. You're not going nowhere if I'm not going nowhere. That kind of mentality. So I'll start with Ricardo. Ricardo, what do you think about as far as pertaining to the Black community? Have you personally seen any crabs in the buckets mentality, and overall in general for the population? Your idea of crabs in the the bucket.
Well, yes, I have. I mean, I got familiar with the term "crabs in the bucket" when I was in high school, in Canada, and it was like really that's what it meant. Over time, I slowly started to realize what it meant and how it affects greatly our community, and it's one of those things where we tend to not really talk about it, but it does come in some shape or some form. It might be you might be working with a colleague, or you might be in school, or it doesn't matter what um, facet you go into. You're always going to encounter something along that lines, and it's basically bad motive or bad intention against someone that's your same kinfolk. So, yes, I've encountered. Well, have I encountered it? Yes, I have. Have I seen it in person? Yes, I have. And it's not a great feeling to see your own kinfolk go against you, but it comes from the slavery mentality and the slave masters and the way they use certain tactics to keep us down, and that's one of the things that crossed over time. So yeah.
All right. And MD, what's your point of view on the crabs in the bucket mentality as it pertains to the Black community?
Yeah, man. Yeah, I concur with everything Ricardo just said. We have to understand that dealing with the crab in the barrel mentality. Well, that's what I call it: crab in the barrel, crab in the bucket. Same thing. You can take that all the way back to the falsehood of the interpretation of the Willie Lynch letter. Um, it's always been a fear of Black folks to have a Black. I don't necessarily want to say overseer, but a superior to instill some type of old adage of fierce punishment or fierce repercussion through order via the white slave master. That's one of the basis of the Willie Lynch letter, right? And you put the Negroes against each other to incite one side to have an ideology versus the other side. So it's always been instilled in us as a people based on the Willie Lynch letter. If you know, despite whether you think it's real or not, the basis of the argument within the Willie Lynch letter is very real. Topple on with, people like W.E.B. Du Bois and the Talented Tenth ideology, where you had a certain group of Negroes that were going to be the well-educated, well-mannered, well-versed to basically make all the decisions for the black society. And the majority of black society wasn't with that. They looked at it as that very same moniker, crab in the barrel. No, if this is how it's going to be done, we all going to basically be affected the same way. Which depending on what side of the aisle that you're on, you may look at it two different ways. So the crab in the barrel mentality is kind of a double-edged sword, because I can understand the mentality of somebody having crab in the barrel from a social standpoint, but from the well-being of the quote-unquote collective, I can understand the other side. So it's a double-edged sword in how you look at it. But in my humble opinion, I mean, just having that thought process is wrong in and of itself.
And also, just to add to that, MD, also kind of a dangerous, I wouldn't say a dangerous rhetoric, but it's kind of like a dangerous oversight, because you might have a black person that in say more country than someone who grew up in like the city, for instance, and they're looked down upon. So it's kind of like, oh, if they're progressing a certain way, it's like, oh, but you're trying to be a white folk, or you try to do this, or you try to be like them peoples. And it's like, no, I could be educated, but I speak a certain way, or I can be this way, and it not be looked at or perceived like, oh, I'm trying to be like the slave master or the white person. You know what I mean? Like it's one of them things where it's used as a negative connotation, and it show or professes itself in numerous ways. So yeah, it's like the crab in the bucket mentality. For those of you who don't know what it is, if you've ever seen crabs in an enclosure, there's always a crab that's trying to escape, and there's always one crab trying to grab the crab that's escaping to say, "Hey, you ain't going nowhere. You're with us. You're one of us. Where you going?" So if you ever seen, I've seen it in science class where I was like, "There's no way that's possible." It's very, very real. Like you see the crab trying to run out, and the other crabs are like, "Nope, they're drawing it right back down in the bucket." So that's where that title and the connotation comes from. It's one of those things where you see, and it is a social, I wouldn't say, but yeah, I agree with MD. It's a social thing, but it's like one of them things that it's manifest in so many ways in our community. That is.
Hey, real quick, let me add on to that, because you brought up a good point, talking about you gave the example of like the country Negro and the city Negro, right? That in and of itself was manufactured. Again, if we go back to the Talented Tenth, one of the tenets of the well-mannered, well-versed was having this certain aura about a certain Negro in how they carried themselves. Whether they was from the country or not, they had to come up out of not carry certain vernacular, not carry certain adages that they grew up with. That was part of it. So I would say a lot of the aspects of how we look at the crab in the barrel mentality is manufactured through a false perception. You know what I'm saying? So that's just to add to what you were saying.
Okay. So we also have now Mr. Straight Talk on the panel. So Trevor, what is your take on the crab in a barrel or bucket mentality?
Peace. Can y'all hear me?
Loud and clear.
All right. So I'm just sitting here listening to what you guys are saying, and I've used that terminology a lot. So I'm gonna just, because it's easy just to say, give examples of it. So I'm gonna look at it from a different way. What is the natural habitat for a crab?
Bottom of the sea.
Okay. So the crab's natural habitation is not to be in the bucket in the first place.
Correct.
So what we're doing is I'm guilty of this because I you'll hear me say crab in the barrel, crab in the bucket mentality. You'll hear me say that a lot, but you'll also hear me neglect the fact that the crab's natural habitat is not to be in that confined space. So when in regards to humans, black people namely, because that's what we're talking about, our natural, there you go, MD, our natural habitat is not to be confined in a space where we're fighting one another. So it always got to come back to your thought process being changed. But if we're speaking just in terms of the crab in the barrel, crab in the bucket mentality, it does exist. But I just think it's people going into self-preservation mode, because one thing I've learned is people of all races don't ever want to see you do better than them. Well, you know what's funny? They're okay with seeing the entertainers do great. They're okay with seeing people that they don't know do great and be millionaires and go on to do great things. But when you bring it right home and it's somebody that you knew, somebody that grew up in your hometown, somebody that went to school with you, it stings a little bit because it shines a light on your inadequacies, your shortcomings. And that's where that mentality comes from, is like, it's not so much that you don't want to see them succeed, is that their success is showing you what's up, Donnie? Their success is showing you where you fall short at. And that's how I'm starting to look at this thing. Because naturally, if you put a bunch of people in a confined space, just human nature, they're gonna wanna fight. Somebody's gonna try to get out. Everybody's not gonna stay in there. MD said it 100 times. We mentioned black land. MDs, they'll tell you straight up, he's not going to black land. That doesn't mean that MD doesn't like black people. That just means MD is smart enough to know that if you put us in a confined space, there's going to be some backstabbing. There's somebody's going to be upset that MD's truck costs more, or MD has a newer model truck, or Vancat gets more producer credits, or things like that. It's just it's all menial, like trivial stuff, man. Like our mentality is horrendous as people. So I wrestle with that a lot though, because I use that crab in the barrel mentality a lot, but I never look at it on the flip side that, hey, you know what? We weren't supposed to be in the barrel in the first place. So
why do okay, well, everyone on the panel, I just want to get an understanding. Do we agree, disagree that this terminology has been directly linked mainly to black people? I can't remember like some white people faced with that. Is that true, false?
Well, I disagree with it.
Go ahead.
I disagree that is exclusive to black people.
Yeah, I disagree also.
I will agree.
I'm not talking about the reality of it, real per se. I'm talking about the perceived notion, the stereotype.
Well, yeah, it's a stereotype because it was manufactured to be that way. Again, we can go back to the Willie Lynch letter and pinpoint where it comes from. We can go back to the Talented Tiff and pinpoint where it comes from. To Trevor's point, he talked about not naturally being in a confined space. The barrel in itself is we're not looking at it as something physical. We're looking at it from the perception of and see this way you put yourself in the corner, Trevor. You said we don't supposed to be confined in such a way. I would argue that the barrel represents social status. The barrel represents hierarchy in terms of any type of situation from a social aspect, whether it be employment, tenure, or a religious order, so on and so forth, et cetera, et cetera. So when you have a people that's been marginalized for so long, and we become from a mindset of being collectively oppressed, the argument would be, if I'm looking at it collectively, see this where you got to embrace individualism in this aspect. When you look at it from a collective aspect, crab in the barrel mentality is saying we're all collectively in a position. When somebody gets out of that position from whatever situation it may be, and the crab in the barrel mentality is being composed, I'm saying to myself, okay, the manufactured order of a collective status is giving this situation to take heed or take hold. My argument would be, if we understand that it's a collective outcome in terms of how the world views us, how do we get ourselves out of it? Is it collective? We all can't get up out the barrel collectively. If one person makes it, this is where the argument takes place at the challenge attempt. Just like W.E.B. Du Bois said, there has to be a certain amount of exceptional Negroes to control the other Negroes, or we can understand how we can individually get up out the bucket without any help from all the other crowds. That's an age-old argument. W.E.B. Du Bois and Booker T. Washington fought on it for decades.
Let me say this real quick, MD, because like I said, I'm working. I'm trying to get the show together for wrestling show tomorrow. So I don't disagree with what you're saying. Like the barrel represents social status and things like that. My only pushback to that would be why is it, and to Venkat's point, why is it that it only seems like we're the one associated with that as being the ones that don't like to see our people make it? Which I know that's not true, but because I deal with it on a daily basis. I see how white people stab one another in the back constantly. I mean, they're like the biggest snakes. I see it all the time, every day. But it's so associated with us that we can't stand to see our people succeed, but we'll glorify anybody else that succeeds. It's almost like in a relationship. You ever had this happen in your relationship where you'll tell your woman something and you know you're telling her the gospel truth and she's not receiving it, but somebody else says the exact same thing word for word?
Yep.
And she's just like, oh yeah, see?
Yep.
That's right. That's what we're dealing with here.
Preach on.
That's what we're dealing with in this situation. We're okay with seeing, and that's MD. That's why me and you have always clashed heads on this. We're okay with seeing everybody else succeed. Even though you have silent jealousy, and then you want to call the race card under your breath and be like, oh, they're only getting that because they're this race and blah blah blah. You're okay with that. You're okay with that. You're okay with seeing Becky. You're okay with seeing Charles and Charlie and everybody get ahead and climb the corporate ladder. But the minute Keisha does it, oh, she must be having sex with the boss. You know, the minute, it's just, bro, it's just like, I don't know what it is. That's why I put it more back to the mentality that our people are just messed up. Just completely messed up, and I don't see it ever changing. I mean, you know how I feel about that, but I just think that I just think it's a mentality issue, man. Because hey, you see how Venkat was like, yep, because you could bring it right to relationships. You'll tell your woman one thing, she'll never listen, but the minute some rando says it, oh yeah. That used to bother me all the time when I used to preach and everything. I'd say something, and I know I hit it good too, man. I'm like, man, I broke that thing down so good. and they like, oh man, yeah, you just get the slow clap, but let some other preacher come in and preach the same thing. Everybody like, ah, woo, you know, it's just annoying. It's very annoying. But yeah, I'll land my plane right there.
So
I'll say. Oh,
no,
my bad,
go
man.
ahead,
I'll
MD.
just say real quick, just to end my point. I'm going to go back to that same argument. The reason that is such a emphasis put on that mentality, the crab in the barrel mentality, that on black people, is because for generations upon generation, we have basically collectivized our own plight. When we collectivize the plight of the people, there is no reasoning to the individual mind of thinking that the individual can succeed without the collective. Y'all all should know that. Everything that's associated with success of any black person is based on black excellence, black success. Well, what is black success? You did it. I didn't do it. We have such a collective mindset to where even our own stumbles, our pitfalls, instances where it may be an individual pitfall or stumble, is based upon the group. That's because it's been generations upon generations of said collective plight. Go ahead, Venkat.
I'm sorry to cut you off. I just wanted to add to your point. So, like,
No,
you
you're
know,
good.
that instance, like, you know, every time you watch the news and there's something stupid that happens on the news, and it's a robbery or it's some embarrassing moment, you're like, oh my God, I hope it's not a black person. Collectively, you just don't. We all think that. At least I feel like everybody's like, oh my God, please don't be a black person that just did that. Please don't be. You know, you always find yourself saying that. At least I know I do. But
I
my
agree.
God.
But again, that's a manufactured in impulse that we all have as black folks because we've been indirectly associated with each other for generations.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, when the news come on and you see it have a shootout downtown, yeah, I do the same thing. At the end of the day, I say it's nigga-ish. I'm saying it's nigga-ish because I'm embarrassed that it was one of us that did it. But that comes again from a manufactured impulse of our own collective plight. That's the reason why we have crab in the barrel.
So you notice what's been happening. Okay, so we have Shannon Sharp has now this successful show, and it's really successful since Cat Williams. And now we have comedians, for some odd reason, I don't know why this is the point of contention, but we got a comedian come on, says a bunch of stuff about other comedians and other people. And then another one comes on, Monique, says the same thing. And now we have all this energy going around with these different comedians arguing with each other. And in the media, what I'm noticing when I watch like things about it, they're saying, oh, why are black people doing it? Why are black this, black that? But I'm thinking to myself, I don't think that ego and self-centeredness and all this other nonsense that's associated with these quarrels and arguments that are happening between these comedians at the moment. I don't think that's an exclusive thing to black people. And plenty of white people in comedy itself and in other industries have the same thing. But the microscope is very high at the present time and any time when it's black related. It's under the radar when it's white. So it's just a funny thing that just occurs all the time.
Hey Venkat, let me tell you why. But I did want to Donnie Donnie said where he works at the main snakes you got to watch out for the Arabs and the Chicano.
Oh my God, we're gonna get banned already,
right? But so we do this thing on Man Talk Monday where we throw a challenge out. And this is to your point where you say that and shout out to Mike in the building. Y'all didn't watch Mike's top 10 yesterday. What the hell are you doing? If we do this thing that we do because we always say this. To your point, it's the black comedians coming out. Monique is saying things. Now now you got other comedians now questioning Shannon Sharp's sexuality and everything. I'm like, why? So I'm going to say this. It's not that it doesn't happen with other races. Other races just keep it on the hush hush. It's just like what we all, oh, hey, I see your mom in the building. Hey.
Yeah, shout out to moms.
Yeah, how you doing?
That's crazy.
I will say something. I don't want to be rude, but it's me. I mean, I gotta say it. That was my middle school crush, man. In the most what's the word, in the most sincerest way possible. But anyway, thanks for coming by Straight Talk Society. So this is always our challenge on Man Talk Monday. Just like Mike threw the challenge out, which he lost royally, but we throw the challenge out. You show me any other race of people that publicly denigrate their own the way we do. You're not going to find it. That's why you're seeing it so much now when it comes to Shannon Sharp, why everybody's attacking him. Everybody's jumping on him now. Because they hate to see black people succeed. They're okay when Joe Rogan, nobody's talking about all the hundreds of millions of views Joe Rogan gets. But the problem is, now this is somebody that looks like us. Now all of a sudden, everybody's gonna be mad. You know why? I'm gonna let Paul Mooney tell you why. Hold on, this is why. I'm getting like Venkat now. I'm gonna let Paul Mooney tell you why.
Everybody want to be a nigga, but nobody want to be a nigga. How about that question?
Exactly, my point exactly. It's like it's like you. Shannon Sharp has made it now, but if I want you to find me another race of people, that denigrate their own people as much as we do publicly. That's what I'm asking, publicly. And I'm talking about on social media and things like that, publicly. And I'll wait. I ain't gonna put no money on the line like Mike did, but I'll wait. I'm waiting. Then that's my challenge to everybody.
All right. So we got Mike on others on the panel. What's going on, Mike?
It's royal others if you can't see, but it's all right. First, I want to send hate to Trevor. You know my what I do every morning when I wake up. How dare you say that I lost the bet horribly? There was one person who came up with one video. One video. It wasn't horrible loss. It was one video. It would have been horrible if they hit me with 15 videos. Like, see, we got a bunch of them. Then it would have hurt my feelings. One person, I could take that L, no big deal. Secondly, what I think everyone is overlooking is not just the black wretchedness, it's the fact that black wretchedness is high-level entertainment for America.
Facts.
Other races do this too. There's been if you follow comedy, you know, I'm not going to say any names because if you don't know, you don't know. There's comedians who've stolen other comedians' entire act and gone on to be more famous than them.
Steve Harvey.
Who'd you say?
Steve Harvey.
Steve Harvey.
No, I'm talking about white people. See, now y'all went straight to black people. I'm talking about white people. There's a white comedian who literally stole another man's entire act.
Fluffy.
It. Who?
Fluffy?
No.
I'm sorry. Mencina. Carlos Mencina. I'm sorry.
Carlos Mencina is Panamanian. I'm not. I said a white person. Y'all apparently y'all don't listen either. So back to my point. There's white men who's done it, and everybody knows it. Everyone knows it, and only people in that circle talk about it because white wretchedness. There's no connection. It's not seen as look what this white guy did. It's seen as look what this dishonest comedian did. But the second black people do something, it's look what this Negro did, and then they have to link all of us with it. That's what America does. Because as you all know, there's two letters that I blame for everything that is bad in the world. WS, white supremacy. They love our drama. They love our wretchedness. The second a black woman rolls their neck and moves her their neck and rolls their eyes, they got 4 or 5 cameras up like, let's get her on NBC tonight. That's how they look at us. The second a black woman graduates from Harvard, don't nobody want to talk about that. You remember back in the day when the news organizations would be out there and they'd be like, oh, ma'am, did you see what happened? Oh, yes. What happened was, oh, no, not her, not her. Did you see what happened, ma'am? Girl, get her on the news. That's how they look at us. The lowest of us are what they want to push because they love pushing the narrative that we are beneath people, that we are the low people, that we are beneath, and we're not. The problem is we accept it. Just like you guys said, man, I can't believe I heard Mr. Individual say this, how he sees the news and goes, oh, it's them niggas again. That broke my heart because I don't feel that way anymore. I used to feel that when I was young. Now I'm just like, man, these ignorant people stupid. I ain't got nothing to do with them. When I see black people doing stupidness, they ain't my people. My people live in Buckhead. I don't know nothing about these people.
Well,
Huh?
it is true that what you're saying, that the news does look to interview the the most ignorant looking
Sir,
person.
not just that. Everything I said is true because Mike is right. Everything I say is factual. It can be looked up in doc. You can look it up and prove that I'm right. Everything I say. The only time I've ever been proven wrong is Kevin dug up one tape, and now it's gonna be the bane of my existence. But I'll take it. But I'm telling the world, this is what they do, and the reason they do it is because it works. And that's why Japanese people who live in Japan and who have never seen a black person in their life look at us and go, oh, ooh, nigga, because that's what they push. Well, I was having a discussion about the record companies. That's what they push. They push Sexy Red. They push Megan Thee Stallion. They don't push Muhammadiyah. They don't push girls who got lyrics. They don't push. You remember when Nicki Minaj used to have bars? She ain't had a bar. I said this last week. She ain't had a bar in like 5 years. I don't know what happened. She remember her monster verse? She can't spit that now. She's making songs with Uzi Vert.
Yeah, that is problematic.
And that's everything. The only time you see, that's why Obama was supposed to be this grand thing, because you saw somebody that they couldn't sully. But the only thing we could talk about now is LeBron. LeBron's the only person that can't be sullied in the social world, and they do everything they can to tear the man down by saying he's not great. So it's what white supremacy does. It's what white supremacy was born to do, to keep others, which is where my name comes from, and Van Cat's hatred of me, is to keep others down. It's to keep others down. That's what white supremacy is. It's not about white, it's not about specific white people, it's not about every single white person. It is the collective white elite keeping everyone from becoming one of them. That's what they do. That's what they always will do. We need to see the spook who sat by the door and put it into action and take over a state. I'm done talking. You gentlemen enjoy your day.
Oh wait, but Mike, you might want to stick around for some of this other conversation here. I'm just saying.
I'll listen as I do my homework. Go ahead.
All right, so let's pivot on to the second topic here. I'm going to give a 3-minute video here. This is pretty much whitewashing and racism and all kinds of things in one. Let's just look at the video.
During Sunday's Super Bowl, Beyoncé released 2 new country-themed singles. But when a fan asked an Oklahoma country radio station to play one of the songs, called Texas Hold'em, Tuesday morning, he says his request was denied. Later that afternoon, the station reversed course and began playing the song. The station's general manager tells CBS News they did not have knowledge of the song at the time of the request, and the record label hadn't provided it to their station. Still, the initial denial to play Beyoncé has raised questions among fans and the entertainment industry about women and Black people's place in country music.
Let's take a step back here for a moment. According to Forbes, as of Tuesday, only 8 of the 150 stations that report to Billboard's country airplay chart reported having played Texas Hold'em in its first day. And none said they had put her other single, 16 Carriages, on the air. And this is not the first time the country music industry has been at odds with Beyoncé. She faced an intense backlash in 2016 for daring to perform at the CMAs alongside the Chicks. Let's be very clear here. This is just the very latest flashpoint of the long and ugly history of racism within the country music establishment. You're probably familiar with some recent episodes, like when rapper Lil Nas X saw his viral hit Old Town Road removed from Billboard's Hot Country Songs on the grounds that it, quote, did not embrace enough elements of today's country music. And there have been even more foul and even more outrageous controversies after it was reported in 2021 that country superstar Morgan Wallen was caught yelling the N-word on camera. He immediately saw a 1,200% increase in digital album sales. And just last year, Jason Aldean filmed a music video for his infamous grievance anthem decrying Black Lives Matter outside a Tennessee courthouse where a black man was attacked by a mob and lynched in 1927. For years, for decades really, white country music fans have sent a clear message. Black artists do not belong in this genre, which is racist, obviously, but also ironic given how musicologists speculate that the precursor to the banjo, the cornerstone of country music, originated in Africa and arrived on American shores during the 17th century with enslaved people taken from West and Central Africa. According to Alice Randall, professor of African American Studies at Vanderbilt University, black country music goes back to the arrival of the first black child to an enslaved African woman in the Americas. Black people have always been a part of folk and country music. Ray Charles, Tracy Chapman, Charlie Pride, Darius Rucker. And to the conservatives who claim that Beyonce is stealing your genre, you're making her point for her. This new album, Act 2, is the second installment of a 3-volume project that is literally about reclaiming black roots in musical genres that have been co-opted and whitewashed.
Okay, there's a very interesting piece here on whitewashing, co-opting the music genre of country music, which has roots in African history. So, what do we think about the piece we just saw? We'll go back to Ricardo.
Color me not surprised. I was just talking to my wife about this today, and how, it's fascinating to see, and I've heard this over time, and I think it's something that I think probably was a very smart move on Beyonce's part, in terms of bringing to light how really, I wouldn't say segregated, but how really partition off the music industry has become when it comes to country music and black people in general, and how that specific genre of music has become a thing of it's our music and it shouldn't be yours kind of thing. And it's utter bull crap, because like the piece said, country music actually came from where else? Color us not surprised, black people. Let me say one thing and say this very clear to a lot of people, because I've heard this over time. I'm probably one of the few people that really, I wouldn't go on record and say I don't really listen to country music that often, but I'm not going to go on record and lie and say I haven't listened to it, because there's influences that come along. And if you were in the 90s, growing up as a Jamaican kid, I heard Leanne Rimes on the radio. How Do I Live? I've heard Shania Twain, which is very popular. She did probably one of the most famous crossovers in country music. But there are other people that have been along, and it's sad we don't really hear, we can't really pinpoint or pick black artists that are country music stars out of that genre. And there's a specific reason for that. Country music radio stations with the payolas and all of that comes, with that in mind, do not play black artists that often. And it's very, very sad. If you were to ask probably any one of us on the panel which black country artists you can name out of your mouth right now, you'll probably say, I don't have one, or I don't know one. And it's something that I think was a very smart play on Beyonce's part. You're giving her all the attention that she probably wasn't, because she's probably unfazed by it at this point. This is Beyonce we're talking about. But you're then going to bring light now, because anywhere she goes into a space, she fills up the space. And that's the point of what we as black people need to be doing, fill up spaces. Because anywhere we go, it's like, oh, why are they coming over here? I remember watching a country music awards one year. I just happened to be flicking my station or my channel, and I heard a comment where it was like somebody had posted on Twitter or something, I think, and it was like, why the black people, why do you all of a sudden want to come over in our avenue, in our space? And I was like, what the hell is that supposed to mean? Like, so all of a sudden, you know, oh, I'm a liar. I'm gonna tell you which country artist I know of. The Hootie and the Blowfish guy, the black guy from Hootie and the Blowfish, Darius something, I think.
Darius Rucker. Bones got it on the screen.
That's the only one I could tell you is a country black artist I could think of. And they love him for some reason. But they name plenty other road.
You know why they love him. You know why they love him. What is Darius Rucker?
Well, we know. But,
Darius Rucker is a staunch conservative.
I knew you had to tie that in. Some people don't know that, MD. So we're just going to go on record and say, well, yeah, you're right on that. But
they have a special place for Hootie.
But there's a whole other artists that are out there that, you know, need to be getting played and they're not getting played. You know what I'm saying? So and mind you, they're playing the actual country music genre with the banjo and everything. Like it sounds nothing like R&B. If I was to hear them and not know what their face look like, I will say that's a white person singing. No, they're black, but they refuse to play them because, again, there's this racist mentality, there's this white supremacist mentality that goes about in country music. Like you heard in the piece, that guy said the N-word and automatically his sales shut up. So color us blind that we're doing wrong, or what is it that they're doing that's causing this friction where we're not supposed to enter this space for music. Music is universal, if I'm confused. Then there's the Tracy Chapman thing a couple weeks ago in the Grammys. All of a sudden people are like, why is that lady singing this white man song? Newsflash, you morons, that's Tracy Chapman. Do you know who she was? She was huge in the 90s. Huge. Like Fast Cars is not a song that he did. That's her song. She only came out to help him sing the song. Are you kidding me right now? Like, are we that far behind that we're not even looking back? Like, give people their credit when it's due. Like, that was just ridiculously crazy with the whole TikTok generation talking about how dare she sing over Luke Williams' song. Sit down, some Tracy Chapman, put some in her name. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you that album was a multi-platinum album. But that goes to show you that when we think about certain things, it's like, oh, everything doesn't need to be whitewashed. We need to get it, and we need to make it be known that there's people that has been in this for God knows how long, but they tend to brush everything. Just to do whitewashing of everything else and act like black people never existed in this space. We've always been there. We created that job. It's just over time they kicked us out of it, because if you look back, and this is where I tell people to do their research, there was a split when it came to R&B and country. They had to split the genre because apparently they were upset with black people getting too much attention. One went one way and the other one went the other way. So all of a sudden now, when the two try to merge again, it's like, oh, why they come back into space? It's utter bullcrap. And I'm glad that certain people try to now bring attention to it, but it's always been an issue, and it's never going to change until people finally start saying stuff or bringing attention to it. So, hey, Beyonce, if you want to go ahead and make an issue that has been swept under the rug for quite some time be known, go ahead, girl, do your thing. Back fist up in the air.
All right, MD. Oh, MD might not be ready. Oh, we'll go back to MD later.
I might be in a bad spot. Can y'all hear me?
Oh yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, all right, yeah. So I agree with what you said, Ricardo. But I mean, ultimately, I don't. It's hard to just put it on the basis of race, because again, the example of Darius Rucker was brought up. Darius Rucker is given a pass. Why? Because he instills the same values, quote unquote, that these people who generally listen to country music tend to. That's why. Beyonce doesn't instill those same values. I'm sorry, she just don't. You know what I mean? And if we gonna base it off of identity politics, you know, Beyonce touts herself to be Democrat. I mean, hell, they were front line and center during Obama's inauguration. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, yes, it's about race when we're talking about it from an identity politics standpoint. But then again, it's not, because we know the exceptions can be made. So what is it really about? It's about an ideology at the end of the day. You will be given a hall pass into these white people's facilities if you can tout the same ideology. And that's what Darius Rucker do. Now, let's look at it on the other side of the token. You got somebody like who's the hot guy right now in country music? Jelly Roll. Jelly Roll.
That's a horrible name.
Hey, it is. Jelly Roll don't now this is just me speculating because I don't know. But just looking at him, he don't exude those same values.
No, he doesn't.
So that's
No, he doesn't. He doesn't even look the part. He looks like well, he was a addict. He made clear. Kind of sounds a little bit more R&B-ish if you were to put the two and two together. He kind of sounds.
I would agree with that.
Right. So then, what's the issue? I'm kind of confused as for what this whole hoopla about, like her. And I get it. I think it deals mostly with the politics side of it compared to what the music itself instills. Like it to me, if I didn't know who Jelly Roll is, or didn't know who he was, not by the appearance of his picture, I would have said, well, he doesn't look country to me. He looks like a rocked out dude with, like, all sort of look like he's, what do you call them, goth people or something, if I was to be like one of the people that will judge. But
I would argue that Jelly Roll looks like a like a white boy that's trying to act black. That's what I would argue.
Exactly. There you go. God, I was waiting for you to get to that,
because I wasn't going to say it, but
man.
Remember, I'm gonna tell you, back in my day, like back in my mid-20s, I was still on my hypnotized mind stuff, 3-6 Mafia, Memphis, all of that. It's an artist by the name of Lil White. I don't know if y'all know who that is, but he was in Hypnotized Mind.
Yeah, I know Lil White. Crazy white boy.
Yep. Lil White had a group. In that group was Jelly Roll.
Oh,
Jelly Roll sung a hook.
I know that.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Jelly Roll sung a hook on one of the songs, and Lil White told him, "Hey man, you got a voice, bro. You need to get out of this." Basically Lil White said, "Hey, I ain't worth a damn. I ain't going nowhere, but you can go somewhere." That's how his career started. And ultimately, Opryland embraced him because he's white. And off on the rocket he goes. You know what I'm saying? So I'm telling you, yes, a large part of this is based on identity politics. But you can get a pass. Again, going back to the example of Darius Rucker, you can get a pass if your politics suits the identity of the group. That's just what it is. It ain't about the music. None of this has nothing to do with country music at all.
Exactly.
Nothing.
Exactly.
It's because it's Beyonce, and Beyonce is a Democrat. That's what this is about.
Nah, it has to do with Beyonce, and Beyonce's black. You can stop fronting if you want to,
man.
I
just gave you the example. Why is Darius Rucker? Even if they call him a nigga, outside of his
exactly they
hearing
do.
rating.
I'll give it. Let me give an
that's
example
fine.
then. Let me give an example.
But they buy his record at the end of the day.
Let me. I don't know. I have to look that up. But look at Miley
Darius
Cyrus.
Rucker, one of the biggest country stars ever. What are you talking about?
That's fantastic. Look at Miley Cyrus. Look how Miley Cyrus was a whole wigger for a decade, and they still played her music.
So wigger.
She was a whole wigger.
You just got to come back home. That's all.
Because
that's what they told him. I said, come back home.
Because
seem like some crazy rules.
name, so I'm gonna use his line too. She got the complexion for the protection, so it don't matter. As long as you white, you can come in. The second you get, everybody knows you always get your token white. You always get your token black guy. It's literally a character on South Park for a reason. Everybody got their token. Trump got Smith. What's his name? Timmy? Whatever his name is. He used to have the fake. He used to have the guy who used to be a respectable doctor. Then he got rid of him and got the new guy to suck up to him. Everybody got their token Negro that they trust. They trust around their daughter, but they still have the cameras up. That's
I don't disagree. I don't disagree with that. But if Darius Rucker voted for Biden, would he be the token?
I don't think they would. Here's what I'm saying. He's going to say all the right things, but he's never going to be accepted. They're just looking at him like the token. The second the token steps out of line, he's going to be a whole nigger in public again.
I'm not disagreeing. I'm not disagreeing with that point.
All
I'm saying
not
is
accepted.
they brought his record. They bought his album at record numbers. That's all I'm saying.
Right, but to make it look good.
And let me. That's
they know
fine.
what they doing. They're not stupid.
Let me make one more point, and then I'll shut up. I disagree with what the person said about ain't no damn country music come from no damn Africa. That's BS.
No, what they were saying was that there are elements of African music that influenced and helped to adopt country music.
That's also BS.
DM don't listen.
But I would argue that's also BS. If we're gonna say the elements, let's just bring it down to instruments, right? If they gonna say, I heard somebody instrument and the guitar, whatever. What about the damn lute? Didn't nobody know about no lute in Africa? So you could make that same argument
they had their
for
own
another
version.
country. Man, I ain't trying to hear that, man.
You ain't got to
no damn
hear it. It's in museums.
Like I said, it ain't come from no Africa. Ain't no element come from no Africa.
This sounds highly emotional from you.
As a matter of fact, you could make the argument that if we're talking about the sliding guitar and banjo and stuff like that, we just took that stuff from white folks and made it hot at the end of the day. Like, if we gonna be honest about it. But hey, I digress.
All right, let's Trevor, what do you got for this topic here?
Yeah, I just you could even put the timer up. Just give me 2 minutes. I think this is a hill we choosing to die on unnecessarily. The only reason this is a story is because it's Beyonce. Also, they bring up in the news report that you played, they bring up Lil Nas X. Oh yeah, you're talking about the same gay rapper that decided to do a country song. So you killed two birds with one stone. That's why they're making it a deal with him, because nobody had an issue when Nelly was doing a country song.
Oh yeah, they didn't like that. They didn't like that either.
But nobody
they didn't like that.
Yeah, but nobody was making no big deal like this. Aaron Neville been rocking out in country forever. I remember Aaron Neville always singing the national anthem on every WCW pay-per-view. That is the first black country singer that I know. Shout out to Darius Rucker, by the way. He makes fantastic black-owned branded Miami Dolphins hoodies, which I do own one. So shout out to him for that. But again, man, I think this is my whole issue on this. I'm gonna land this plane. You see what I'm saying? Like, we literally are arguing. Like, I'm not talking about us. Like, just on a whole, we're arguing to belong to something that is predominantly white, instead of banding together to keep those culture vultures from taking over what is ours. On my way to work this morning, hold on. Let me just get it out, man. Just let me get it out.
Okay, go.
Damn. This one video, I was watching this one video this morning, and it ran down a list of all the white female rappers that infiltrated the black hip-hop industry, which I had never even heard of any of these things. And all these rappers were embraced by black culture. Why is it that black culture is so quick to just let everybody come into their thing and still want to be accepted into everybody else's thing? It's okay not to be invited to the barbecue. I'm done. That's it. Let me mute my mic.
But Trevor, what I was trying to say was that they're saying that it's partially influenced by black culture, country music. So the whole thing that Beyonce is doing is just trying to take back what was ours, I guess what she's saying. It's a special thing she's doing.
Why not?
I don't see anything wrong with that. I don't see anything wrong with that.
Let me jump on this.
Because you can't do it when you're a brand new artist with no pull and power. She's a way different artist than she was ever. She has a lot more influence. She's able to do this, and people, her fans, her fans are buying things religiously, not even caring how the music sounds. It's just that it's hers. They're gonna buy it. She couldn't have done that in year 1 or year 2. So she has the ability to do that and not face a hit financially with it being a failure, even though they're trying to make it fail by not playing the music. But go ahead, Mike.
Thank you. I would like to start by saying that the Moors were the people who Moors, and they brought it to Spain somewhere around that time. I remember that from class, and I'm gonna look it up because I want to make MD look bad. So I'm gonna make sure I look that up. But I'm pretty sure it was black people who started the guitar. Secondly, to Trevor.
Yes, you are.
What was that? What was that?
You are. Yes, you are correct.
Oh, that means Mike is right. Okay, fantastic. Thank you. I love to hear it.
Hold on, wait a minute. You said the Moors did what now?
Sir, you said you were going to stop talking. You're done.
No, I
said
want you to
were
expound
done,
on that.
You said I'm gonna shut up. That's what you said. I was quiet when you was going. I was hella quiet. I was hush. I have already moved. Your time has passed, sir. I've moved past you. It's above me.
All right. I'm gonna shut the hell up.
Above me. Yeah, I love messing with MD. Now to Trevor, I 1,000% agree with you, sir. I am sick of black people, sick, I tell you, inviting everyone to the damn barbecue. Everybody can come to the cookout. I'm sick of them. If you've ever spoken to me more than once, you know there's only one person, one white person that I invite to my cookout. What was it?
Speak her name out loud. Say it loud.
Jane something. I forget her
name.
name.
Jane Elliott, the only white person allowed at my cookout. I don't care what song a heifer made. I don't care what dance a heifer did. I don't care how jamming Timberlake was when he came out. I don't care how fire his voice is. I don't care how much Clinton played the sax. Ain't none of them coming to my cookout.
Yep.
One white person. Jane Elliott. And I'm leaning to a second this white lady doctor who's been on a rampage lately, crushing with books and killing white people, but I ain't gonna bring her up yet because she ain't on that level yet. Jane Elliott is the only one. This white lady, and Bernie might have a little shot, Mr. Sanders, but he's behind the white lady. They ain't even close yet. That's the only person I let in my stuff. I'm sick of black people being so happy and willing to, ooh, he can two-step. Ooh, he can bankhead bounce. Let's let him in. Because all they do is use us, take our popularity, take our money, and run. You want to think of Miley Cyrus. You want to think of MGK. You want to think of Justin Timberlake. All these white people who you want to think of Post Malone, who was one of the biggest hip hop, and now he wouldn't spit on you hip hop Negroes. He's gone on and made it. The only person that came in hip hop and stayed was Eminem, and he's the only real one of all of them anyway. The rest of them was trash. The Island Boys came in, they was trash. They ran to some. Every white person that what's the name? G whatever came in and ran away. Yellow Wolf came in and ran away. That's what they do. They come in, they steal the fame, they get hot because it's cheap to get hot in hip hop, and then they run to go sing whatever it is they really wanted to. Look, what's that punk who I hate that sang "Ba with a Ba" and then turned out to be more racist than Trump? Well, I ain't gonna call Trump racist, but more racist than the regular white guys. What's his name?
Kid Rock.
Say it again.
Is it Kid Rock or Fred Durst?
Kid Rock. That piece of trash. That piece of garbage who y'all let steal one of our national treasure songs, one of the Mount Rushmore type hip hop songs that had an impact on America. Let this piece of crap, garbage, lice infested hippie boy run up in our stuff, act like he was one of us, take our money, and then run away and act like he ain't like black people the second he walked off. I never liked those darkies. I just needed the money. If you guys have ever heard of a gangster named Dutch Schultz, that's who all of these people are. They're selling to the black people to get they popping on and then running back with the money to the whites. I don't know why y'all let them in our stuff. All these Trevor didn't even name a white artist, and I hate all of them. I don't want none of them in my stuff. Y'all let them in, and it's disgusting. Ain't no white people in dance hall. Y'all, the only one that tried was Snow, had 2 songs, and we said, stay your ass in Canada. That's all I'm saying, and I'm going to leave it alone.
All right. Well done, Mr. Others.
Royal Others, sir. Royal Others.
It changes like every 48 hours. I can't.
And you're the moderator. You need to keep up.
All right. So this next topic here, I'm going to lead with royal others, as far as when we open it up for the panel. But let's just take a look at this, and this is going to involve police. Of course, we know with police in the Black community, it is a long, storied history here. But I just want to take a look at this interesting video, and then we're going to have our thoughts at the other end.
Florida law enforcement apparently gets a little rattled by acorns. They get a little nutty about acorns, okay? Now, in a pretty shocking and kind of funny case, one police officer in Florida was so terrified by the sound of an acorn falling on his patrol car that he mistook it for gunfire and then proceeded to open fire himself. Luckily, he didn't kill anyone, but he could have. So here's what happened. Deputy Jesse Hernandez of the Okaloosa County Sheriff's Office responded to a residential neighborhood in Fort Walton Beach, Florida. Okay. Now, because a woman said her boyfriend, Marquise Jackson, had stolen her car and was threatening her, cops show up to assist. According to the sheriff's office report, the girlfriend showed deputies that Jackson, who was known to carry a gun, had allegedly sent her threatening text messages, which included a photo of what appeared to be a gun. Now, deputies thought the photo showed a gun, but investigators later found out that actually it showed less than 2 inches of a gray metal cylinder that everyone interpreted to be a firearm suppressor attached to a gun, according to the report.
Shots fired! Shots fired! Shots fired! You know. I'm hit! What? I'm in the car! I was shot through the car! I'm good. I feel weird, but I'm good. I might have hit my vest.
So you could hear near the end, he says something along the lines of like, I've been hit.
I'm hit.
Yeah. He explained later that he felt like his legs were giving out.
That is the single most embarrassing video I've ever seen.
It really is. I don't even know what else to say about it. It is. It's very embarrassing. I mean, the only explanation for him thinking that he was hit or claiming that his legs gave out is he was so panicked because he thought it was a gunshot.
That's what makes it even more embarrassing. I mean, like it's got every element. It's just an acorn that hit the car. Like,
it was a ferocious acorn.
Okay. Okay, so that's already embarrassing that it wasn't a shot. It was just a nut falling. And it wasn't even a warm nut. Anyway, so that's a lot. And so then he not only starts firing like a maniac, but he falls down. And then he thinks he's been hit. I'm down, officer. Oh God, Jesus Christ. Okay. And thank God nobody got hurt. Otherwise, this is a giant tragedy, right? So, like, of course, the cops cleared him. They're like, oh no, not guilty.
No, okay, but
okay, we'll get to that in a second. But he resigned basically, I think, out of embarrassment more than anything else.
Good, he should. He's not fit to be law enforcement.
You're too panicky, brother. You're too jittery. I mean, we can't have you out in the streets if like a tiny little acorn falls and you're like, it's an oak trying to kill me. Well, it could be one day. It could be an oak one day.
By the way, guys, listen. Luckily, no one got killed. But remember, he's firing his gun at the patrol car that, Marquise Jackson was handcuffed and placed in.
Not only is he firing at a patrol car, the brother's
he's handcuffed,
right? Oh, it's just humiliating,
Jesse,
man.
What are you doing, Jesse? What are you doing?
Okay. All right. So on that footage there, we saw what we oftentimes will see, not specifically this moment, but where you have cops. Some cops, they're Just like Mike would say, they may be white supremacists or they may be racist or whatever. But other cops could just be just flat out incompetent. And you have a cop in this situation where he totally overreacts when he hears some acorns hit the roof of a car. So you have people in the black community having to deal with this element with cops all the time. But before we go, let's go ahead and go to Mr. Royal Others. What's your take on what we just said?
Thank you. I want to start because there's so many. I want to go a couple different places, but I don't want to take too long. When I was young, there was this white dude that lived at the end of my block, right? And he had a big tree in his house. He was like the most popular white dude where we lived. Like some people would even let him say the N word until I punched him in the face for saying it one day, and then we had a fight at Westwood Heights. But that's another story. Well, he had this big tree, and it's the only tree I could climb because every branch made a V, so you could fit your hands in there. I mean, you could fit your feet and your hands in there. And one time we were playing, with guns or with fake guns or whatever, and I shot at this guy once. Like it was a fake gun, it wasn't real. So I was like, boom, got you dead. And he said, I got you. And he started unloading, but he's shooting at the base of the tree because he thinks I'm behind the tree. And he looks up and realizes I'm in the tree. And I looked at him and was like, bro, how you shooting at nothing? And I feel like this cop is the exact same. Like, hear what I'm saying. If the acorn hit the car, right? Then someone shot at the car. The shot didn't come from the car. The shot hit the car. Just common sense. So he opens up, lets off every single bullet, and then reloads. And I don't remember if he let off the second one too, but I think he was about to, or he might have.
I'm shot.
You feel me? I don't understand how this man could have, because you can't tell me this is the first time he's done something like this. And Venkat, I want you to understand, it's not me who says that cops are racist. It's the FBI who released the report who said that the KKK and other white supremacist groups have infiltrated the police force. That was me. That was the FBI who said that.
I stand corrected.
You feel me? You ain't gotta listen to me. I know Mike is right, but you ain't gotta. It's Mike in the FBI. You know what I'm saying? So I don't understand why psychiatric evaluations are not par for the course for police officers. I think they should have to take those lie detector tests on a regular basis, monthly, if not more. That should be you know how whenever a military person goes on a mission and they come back, they must be debriefed? There should be a debriefing because these are just people with badges. That's it. They're not special. They got 6 weeks of training and now they know no. If you go to a police officer and ask them a question about the law, 8 times out of 10 they'll be wrong. Think about that. Don't take my
make
word
up their
for it.
own. They make up their own law.
They just make up and I'm telling you this as a person who worked TSA. And TSA has about, let's say, a third of all the rules and statutes and legislation that you have to follow, right? But it's a whole lot. But it's about a third of what they got to follow. And I ain't remember none of that stuff. I just know you go off of what you do repeatedly. Whatever it is, repetition, you go. That's why you can watch all these first auditor videos where they go, hey, you can't stand here. And they go, on a public sidewalk? Yeah, you got to get back. And because they're so used to people being afraid of them and running, they just continue with it until somebody stands up to them and goes, no, I'm not going to move. Then their next case is to try to shoot them or arrest them or whatever. This is, if you see this video and you're not terrified for your life, something's wrong with you. There are hundreds of thousands of this moron running around America.
Especially if you're black.
If you're black, it's even worse because check this out. I'll tell white people a little secret. I know you guys think that black people think that you guys are safe no, they'll shoot you too. They look at broke white people like they look at broke white people like light-skinned black people.
One and the same.
He might be safe, but just in case. They'll kill you too. Please believe me. They'll kill you. I've seen video of a white man on his hands and knees, and the cop still shot him.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
So Yep.
I don't understand what world we're living in where people think that this is okay, but you can't tell conservative whites that this isn't the best thing in the world because to them, this is their front line protection against the imaginary gangster blacks. So it'll never change. You hear them fatalist me. It'll never change. This is what we have to look forward to. I'm just glad he was smart enough to retire. And you know what? Here's the sad part. He quit. That means he can go anywhere else in the country and become a cop for someone else. Because that's what they do. Whenever you see a cop that gets indicted, they just quit really quietly and then they run to another police station and then they get hired there too. That's what they do. They have a stupid little report that the federal government puts out that all the bad cops are supposed to get on. Whenever a bad cop's about to get on that list, they quit. And then they run to another department and try to start all over. Yeah, that's not Mike saying that. That's the FBI who reported that. Yeah, this is America. This is white supremacy at its best. Unless you're an elite, upper class, rich white person, the cops don't care about you. And you better be known. Because if you're rich and white and they don't know you, they'll still kill you.
All right.
There's no hope. This is a moron. I wish you would have got prosecuted for reckless discharge of a firearm. And let's be
Endangerment.
clear. Yes, and let's be clear. Let's be clear. The police, the so-called rats that you see on TV and they go, we don't like the IA, they're rats. Internal investigation, that doesn't exist. That whole rats where there's these guys who stand up against the bad police. No, it doesn't exist. They're just cops and they do the same thing. It's very rare where the IA finds that the cop who did the messed up thing that you watched on a video is ever guilty. Just like this guy was obviously not guilty. All he did was open up a line of fire because of an acorn. He's at least guilty of being an idiot. But no cop is ever guilty because people think baseball is the best lobby in the world. No, sir. The police, the PAL, the Police Athletic League, and the police, damn it, I can't remember the name, but whatever. The people who funnel money to the people in the government who will do anything that the police say, they're the biggest lobby in the world. They're the biggest, they're the best, they'll never stop, and that's why I think they should be defunded. But I digress. Nobody really listens to me. I'm just a chubby dude that be on a podcast. I'll be quiet like MD was last time, which means I'll jump in when anyone says my name. Continue.
All right. Let's go to MD. Let's go. MD, what's your thoughts here? MD.
Since MD doesn't want his time, I'll take MD's time. No, I'm playing.
All right, so let's go to Trevor. Trevor, what's your thoughts on this?
Yeah, just come back to me. My bad. Just come back to me. I'm still working.
Man, that's crazy. All this over at Acorn. Everybody can't be a cop. Man, I'm just glad the guy that was handcuffed inside the police car didn't get hit. Everybody on this panel, I'm assuming, has probably had a run-in with a cop or two in their lifetime. I remember coming home we were going to a wedding reception on a Sunday. Me, my dad, and my brother driving down 31st, and black cop, white cop pulled us over and said that we had marijuana in the car. And granted, I hadn't smoked weed in like 2 or 3 years. And, I'm trying to tell him, like, bro, we don't have this. Like, what are you doing? He got us sitting out on the side of the street, in our suits and stuff, just because he could. And his partner the whole time telling them, like, dude, you don't got nothing on them, man. You can't, you don't smell. No, I know what I smell. And it's just foolishness like this that unfortunately makes you not like the people that you pay to protect you. And I agree to Mike's point. I mean, hey, white, black, if you under a certain tax bracket, they still gonna treat you the same. I've watched white boys get handled just as bad as I have. I've had state troopers slam me on the floor and spit on me, you know, all type of stuff. I've been roughed up by cops plenty of times back in my younger days. I mean, same old story, nothing to see here. But the fact that this guy is on video, what I didn't like though is the newscast. I just found it weird that the newscasters made such a joke off of it. I know it's one of them things that you you could laugh after the fact, but I just think that there's supposed to be an air of professionalism. I mean, we could like us, we just random YouTubers, we could do that. But if you're doing like a real broadcast that's going over the air, you know, I don't think you should not be professional while you're doing it. But that's just a little nitpick that I had there. But yeah, this cop is, I'm glad he quit. But again, like Mike said, what's probably going to happen, I bet you if you look him up in a couple of months or whenever this happened, he's going to move somewhere else and go be a cop somewhere else. And then this time he's probably going to end up killing somebody. Because maybe this time, instead of it being an acorn, it's going to be a coconut that fell on his car. And it's just a never-ending cycle, man. I don't know. I got nothing else. I just can't. I can't.
All right, Ricardo.
Yeah, I'm a little bit disturbed by what I just watched. What is there to say about this? I mean, in hindsight, I don't know, and I do agree with you, Trevor. There's a sense of professionalism that I expect my newscasters to. But I don't think they're news, though. I think they're just political type of people. So there's a difference between those people that are reading the news and whatnot, because that whole laughing bit just threw me off too. I was like, you know, I get it, it's funny, but the viewer laugh, but not you. Over an acorn, though, really? Like, this country's getting more by the moment. I can't even wrap my head around this. Thank God, like Trevor was saying as well, that the guy that was back, that was apprehended, get hurt, because I mean it's just why some people, and it's not. You see, I'm even flaccant. I can't even talk because this man literally almost like created that much havoc over. Why is it that we are not vetting individuals going into law enforcement? I like, just because your daddy was a law enforcement officer or police officer, whatever you want to call them these days, because I don't even know what to call them anymore. They seem like a rat pack of just pure bully antagonist people. I just don't understand how they get vetted. Like, how did you even pass to get through and to get to this stage, and you literally jump MD years ago? Because I might be this political and I might get, but all in all, you end up job probably in another precinct or another police station, and he's just, it must be nice to get pen whatnot if he even qualifies for it, because I don't understand why they're so powerful as a group of people. Like, this whole nonsense, when people bring to the attention of they should be delegated, they should be put in a regiment, every 6 months or so, they do all of this or that. They are that part of a set of people that they could get away with this much crap. Like, it's nonsensical at this point. Like, it's really baffling and it's crazy, but it's going to continuously happen. We're going to get up tomorrow. Our whole country is going to forget about this, and down the road again, something else is going to happen. And it's like, oh, but didn't this happen 6 months ago? Yeah, it's just things where it's just an unending snowball that keeps going and going and going, and no one seems to want to give a hoot. So what do I know? MD, you're next.
All right, MD. Oh, he's probably still doing his thing. All right, so I don't know when he'll be available, But when he comes back, if he wants to get back,
Hey, can you hear me? I'm sorry, man. They got me riveted. Can you hear me?
oh yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, yeah, man. Hey, I agree with Mike. He should be charged with unlawful discharge of a firearm, point blank. Period. That's just what it is. You know what I mean? He got phantom shot in the leg. You know what I mean? And then he had his partner that also discharged her firearm under false pretense. You should be charged at the end of the day. You know what I mean? How would his partner have felt if she would have dealt the lethal blow? All for nothing. You know what I mean? That's crazy to me. At the end of the day, I tell you what the issue is. I heard somebody say they dad was a cop and all. You know where this stuff comes from. It comes from the unionization, just like Mike said, of these powerful entities, like the police officers union, et cetera, that garner power in governmental and governmental influence in these positions. And it's not about protect and serve, because if it was, there would be more stringent processes of getting employment to be a police officer, and it's not. So let's just keep it real. You know what I mean? My example. All the police officers that I dealt with when I was coming up, that I got beat up, and I had one instance. I was at a skating rink one night, and a mad fight broke out. I turned around, all I see is boom. I don't know what hit me. I just went to the ground. The cop is up above me. He said, "Hey, who hit you?" I'm like, "Man, what? You just hit me with the damn extender pole." He said,
God.
he said, if you say I hit you, you got to come in. I said, "I don't know who hit me," and he let me go.
I'm done.
I'm not even laughing, bro. Like that pissed me off, bro. I've seen that before. That
Hey,
pissed me
I
off.
can't. I ain't trying to laugh at it, man. But
I know. I'm just saying I can't.
I believe MD as well. It's crazy that they get away with so much bullshit. It's that's crazy.
And my favorite thing is they
go
love to
ahead.
say, we don't understand why no one likes us. Why do we? I'm like, you guys earn your hate every day. I had an instance where I got hit in the head with a stone. Somebody hit me with a rock in my temple to where I was almost leaking. And the cop came up and saw, and I was like, I'm about to go get this dude. And because he didn't want to do paperwork, he looked at me and said, either you let it go or I'm gonna run you both in. And I said, I'm the one that's bleeding from the head. Hey, well, I don't feel like doing the paperwork, so either let it go, I'm gonna run you both in. And then I said, well, run us both in.
Yep.
And he was like, I didn't think he was gonna say that, but I'm still not gonna do it. And then he drove off.
Wow.
Yeah.
So again, in my instance, all the cops that I've ever dealt with been all black because I live in a majority black city. But that doesn't take away from the malpractice, so to speak, in regards to your position. At the end of the day, a lot of these people are weak. They don't know how to deal with the people in said community. First and foremost, because they're not part of said community. Secondly, because it's almost like vengeful employment in regards to the way that you were brought up. It may be through ideology, religion, whatever the situation may be, and you look at it as a get back move. A lot of these people do that. We have to have better systems of processing these people that are aspiring to be police officers, in the sense of the discipline has to be way, way, way better. Hell, I wouldn't be not susceptible to something as a military style boot camp to get these people processed in these academies. I mean, it's to the point now where a lot of these people, again, it's a good old boy system through the police union. Their granddad was a cop, and then they just get grandfathered in, and they just willy-nilly. We got to stop it. And because it's a governmental entity, you would think that it would be more stringent, but hey, that's government for you.
Sir, now we were doing so well. The police are not a governmental entity. They are local law enforcement who are doing the most horrible trash. And because they only have to answer to the mayor and the sheriff, they get away with it. That's the police. I don't think the government has as much power to stop it as you think. But other than that, I love everything you said. This is the time when the union is dangerous. The police union is the most
I
dangerous,
agree.
horrific lobby thing of all time.
I
That is when the
agree.
union is dangerous.
Yep.
And this is, and I hate to say it, but this is the type of thing I talk about whenever me, MD, and all you guys have the arguments about why I won't allow monopolies and why I think we need to have regulations, because this is a non-regulated thing. They put in place pseudo regulations so it looks like they're looked after. They're not. The IA is just a bunch of other police. The name they have their list on is just a fake list. None of it is real. You have to do something egregious. You have to literally have the American public, and when I say that, I mean white people, have to be angry at you for you to get in trouble. There must be video of you kneeling on a person's neck while that person cries for their mom for you to almost get in trouble. Remember, it's the same place where we watched the video of 4 police beat a man up and they said only 2 had to go to jail after saying none of them did. This is what they do. This is white supremacy in action. And I promise you, if we get the military training, it'll just get worse. It'll just get worse. That's why they need to be defunded and it needs to be redone. Everybody that's a cop right now needs to be fired, made a civilian, and they need to restart this in 3 separates. There need to be something that handles a separate thing for juveniles, a separate thing for mental health, and a separate thing for just criminals. Because I don't want a I don't think it's fair to them that they got to run out and help people and do welfare checks. They don't know how to do it. All they're trained to do is to kill, and all they're trained to do is to get home safe. And if that means killing you, they don't care. They don't serve and protect. They shoot and get home. That's it. I'll digress.
Hey, real quick before y'all move on. You said that, I mentioned that it was a governmental entity. And you mentioned that it needs to be defunded and basically restructured. Where did they get that funded from, Mike?
They get it from the taxes.
The taxes from where?
From the people. I play this game with you all day, my G.
They get it from the federal government, Mike.
That's what you said. They get it from they get it from the people.
They get it from the federal government. A few weeks ago, Venkat, we was talking about Cop City. You remember that?
Yeah.
Cop City is 100% funded by the federal government. That's where they got that grant from.
Hey, don't.
I'm not disagreeing with your point. I'm just saying.
Right, but all right, let me ask you this question. Once that money is disseminated, who is in charge of where it goes?
The local municipality, of course.
Then we're saying the same thing. Move along.
Okay, all right. We'll meet halfway then. That's fine.
Yes, sir. My G.
Okay.
All right. So at this point, anything on the panel that they would like to bring up to add to the part of the Politics in Blackness?
I just want to say that MD and I had an intelligent argument, and then we came out with a draw, which I really feel like is a victory because he's better well versed in politics than I am. So I'm just gonna go ahead and praise myself. Go ahead, Mike. Mike is right. That's it.
Well, I guess it'll be Mike is right times 2, because hell, my name Mike too. So hey, it is what it is.
Sir, your name is DM. Cut it out.
All right, that's fine.
All right. Appreciate it.
All right. So no one else has anything else to add to it?
We good, man.
All right, I just want to make sure.
I'm playing Don King right now. That's all.
All right, so this is at the point of the show.
I would like to celebrate myself on another week of annoying Trevor and halfway annoying MD to the point where he just goes, man, I ain't dealing with this fool today. That's another victory for me. And for making Van Cat laugh foolishly, because I feel like I'm the only one that gives him joy during the week. So now I got to work on Ricardo. I got to find something for him.
You would be correct, sir. All right.
And what's another name for correct?
No.
Mike is right. You know it. You know you wanted to say it. It's all right. I hear it.
All right. So at this point, we're going to go into session, lame duck style. So we'll be back on the other side.
First things first, in this lame duck session.
For the United Nations General Assembly to share the extraordinary progress we've made. In less than 2 years, my administration has accomplished more than almost any administration in the history of our country. America's so true. Didn't expect that reaction, but that's okay.
Right. Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
You're trying your best, but it never feels like enough.
I started having second thoughts almost the moment I sat down on the plane.
Lights off! Off! Turn them off. They're too bright. Turn them off. Turn them off. Let's go. Ready? Turn
We go back a long way. She was 12, I was 30, but anyway.
So I changed my return flight and flew back on the first available flight I could take.
I'm sick and tired of smart guys.
I'm sick and tired of ordinary people being fleeced.
I'm tired of being quiet.
I'm sick and tired. I'm just sick and tired. We have this notion that somehow if you're poor, you cannot do it. Poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids.
With great power comes great responsibility.
You want to see a bird graveyard? You just go. Take a look. A bird graveyard? Go under a windmill someday. You'll see more birds than you've ever seen ever in your life.
They came up with this, and this is something I've been talking about for 12 years, 13 years, and I think it's going to be a big success.
This shit look like when you bronze your baby shoes, except they took adult feet and did it.
Trump was in Philadelphia at SneakerCon. Why? He was unveiling his own sneaker line, Trump sneakers, including this gold-colored, it's called the Never Surrender high top sneaker. And on that website, which is selling those sneakers, apparently it's sold out. It was selling for $399. Your thoughts?
Donald Trump at a sneaker convention today announcing his, wait for it, you see it there on your screen, a new line of Trump sneakers for the low price of $399.
He's gonna pay $450 million.
How many freaking sneakers does he have to sell to pay $450 million? I'm not good at math, but how many sneakers? The grift continues with this guy.
That's the real deal.
A presidential candidate moonlighting as a shoe salesman. Donald Trump introducing a new sneaker line at a shoe conference in Philly over the weekend. Those gold shoes at $400 a pop arrive as Trump is facing a serious threat to his cash stockpile. Just 24 hours earlier, a judge had ordered him to pay more than $350 million as punishment for his company's fraud. Now, this is hardly the first surreal product that the former president has promoted with a T inscribed on it. There was Trump ice and ice trays, vodka, coffee, steaks, a cutting board, cookies, jelly beans, red Solo cup, a flask in the shape of a football, a honey dipper, urine test kits, a magazine, a board game, a speaker in the shape of Trump's body, gold-colored earbuds, cologne, his and her luxury robes, scented candles, mattresses, pickleball paddles, a USB drive in the shape of a gold bar, mortgages, diplomas for which he was accused of fraud, NFTs, and Never Surrender merchandise, of course, featuring his mugshot, which is the very existence of signals surrender.
Hello, everybody. So thank you very much. And we have a few young ladies that are up here crying. Look at you with the Trump 2024. Thank you, darling. I love you, too. Wow. A lot of emotion. There's a lot of emotion in this room. Thank you. Thank you. So nice. So the really nice thing is we have lines, and I want to thank Chase and I want to thank Alan, but we have lines going all around the block. They're going all around this block. They've never seen anything like this one. I just want to tell you, I've wanted to do this for a long time. I have some incredible people that work with me on things, and they came up with this, and this is something I've been talking about for 12 years, 13 years, and I think it's going to be a big success. Your influencers have been very positive. They've been real influencers, and they love it, and they love what we've done, and we appreciate it. We really appreciate it. More than anything else, I appreciate the turnout. because they say they've never had a turnout like this, and we're going to do things that are terrific.
They don't look great.
No,
They don't look like $400 shoes. I'll tell you that.
They're not $400 shoes. Shit, they're barely $40 pair of shoes. I guarantee you. I guarantee this shit is not. I promise you. I understand there's a lot of crazy sneakers out there, but I promise you this shit is cheap in quality. I'll guarantee it. I promise you.
The second you put them on, it just starts flaking off.
The gold case just starts coming off.
Yeah.
You start seeing the original white shoes underneath there.
It's the real deal.
No.
That's the real deal.
Somebody said the gold will turn your feet green.
Yeah.
We're going to remember SneakerCon. You know that.
You got that right. These sneakers are the biggest con I've seen so far today. You damn right about that. This is just at the Daily Show. They got a poor dude over there so brainwashed. He gave Trump so much money. This man's about to go broke investing in all these crazy ass schemes and scams that he has. And the guy's he is so brainwashed and has such a cult following mind. He's about to do it again.
Yeah, he's happy to do it.
And this guy, I have supported him with checks and the gold Trump bars, $100 gold things. I can't get rid of those.
What would anybody do with that? Nobody wants that.
Why would he think that he would make a profit on that or like be able to spend the money? Like you give it to Trump, it's gone.
It's gone. That shit goes to him. All right, that man has so many legal fees right now. He's been ordered to get like over $200 million for some fine.
I was gonna say it goes to him and then his lawyers.
Yes.
NFT cards, a TRB card. The card has nothing on it.
You think it was a scam?
It might have been. I don't know.
You've invested a lot.
He don't want to admit it. He knows he got, and he just doesn't want to admit it.
I think I feel his dick in my ass, but I'm not sure.
Went to the ATM and couldn't get nothing out. The card has nothing on it.
These are Trump, debit cards.
Yeah, credit cards with Donald Trump's name on them.
Hey, look at this.
There it is. There's
the Trump gold card, the Trump black card, these coins. I think he tried doing some stuff with what do you call it?
Just gold.
With gold. Mm-hmm. Crypto, I think he's tried to do.
Trump coin.
Trump coin, yes.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, why would you want your face on that, man?
At least make him look better like they did in the card.
They actually took his head on the coin and stretched that shit out to make him look worse. He looks like a hog. He looks like a hog, like a pig. I'm not just saying, I'm not trying to be mean, but he looks like a hog with a toupee on. Look at those jowls.
Yeah, look at what it says on the coin. I want you to read that.
The revenge tour.
The revenge of what? Everyone's wallet?
Yeah. Oh, he's talked about how if he gets elected, he's firing everybody, putting his people in there. And first order of business, he's going to go in and give pardons to a lot of the people that stormed the Capitol.
Oh my God!
Oh, it's an authoritarian move. Like, man, it's okay. Around right now, we're joking, but this is a scary thing. You have a con man with a vendetta, who's just brainwashing people to buy the most useless shit.
You think it was a scam?
It might have been. I don't know.
Stupid
That's
ass.
someone's grandfather, man. It's so sad.
And he's still giving them money with all the shirts and the hat.
Yeah,
Look at that.
yeah. Trump shoes, $9.69. Really? So you can go to Temu right now. Get these Trump. This man, it's the same shoe.
Yeah.
I told you. I told you it's the same goddamn shoe. I gave him actually credit. I said they're about $40. Look at that. You get these shoes for. The only thing that's missing is a cheap ass American flag emblem and a basic font letter T. Look at this.
Wow.
I thank you, Dwayne. I told y'all some cheap shit.
All right. There we go.
Bro.
Put the spotlight.
Bro.
Put the spotlight on this guy.
Bro.
Go ahead, Mike. Go ahead.
I want to take this a totally different direction than you guys. I'm going to let you guys say what you got to say. I want to say that I wish I was an old white person because I would be able to see an evil villain in the flesh in my own image. This is who I wish. Oh, I wish Obama had the genius of this moron. Like, this guy is so moronically genius. I know it's an oxymoron, but it is beautiful. If Obama had a tenth of the evil genius of this guy, he would have been the greatest president of all time. This man got a $350 million fine, and he sold out of $20 shoes that he was charging $400 for. I'm not even going to tell you the number. You all do the math. divide 350 million by 400 and see how many he had to sell, and you tell me if you believe he didn't sell more than that. I'm gonna leave it at that. This man is a evil, moronic genius, and I wish Obama had the creativity. That's why Republicans are always smiling. They're always because their side does the evil work that the Democrats are too stupid and too pseudo moralistic to get done. I just wish there was one who would walk in there and say, hey, I'm going to do everything to get in office. And when I get in office, I'm going to screw over whoever I got to do to get our stuff passed. Because that's what they do. They don't care. They do whatever they want. This man has the most bootleg, whack-ass pro-keds on sale for $400, and you know they sold out. This man
Well,
went
the
and
sold
bought
out is the
huh?
sold out is deceptive. It was like a limited quantity
Sir,
because
that's what you say. I'm telling you, this is going to be a collector's item at
no, it's
racist
not.
rallies all over the world. He bought up all the big baller brand stuff from the ball dad and painted them gold and put them
Exactly.
things right on sale. I promise you, he gonna make enough money to pay
What?
that fine and not go in his old wallet. I
So
promise you.
so there was one guy. He bought a signed pair for $9,000.
And you telling me I told you I'm not crazy. This man is an evil genius. You cannot stop him. He's going to get reelected. He's gonna make this.
Nice not.
We are in Revelations. I can't even. I'm about to get prayed up tonight. I'm telling you, we are watching the end of the world. This is it. This is it, fellas. Go get you some coochie and a beer, because we are in end times.
All right, so let's go to Trevor.
Okay, so I saw Ricardo put this picture in the group, and I didn't read it to see what the hell it was talking about. I thought this was a joke.
I did too.
I didn't know that this was really something real. This man literally could do no wrong. Like,
thank you.
Seriously, this dude can be 350 million in the hole and say, you know what? I don't want to spend my money. Let me make y'all pay for it.
Facts.
And guess what? They're gonna pay for it. Case in point, our old general manager bought the limited edition gold Donald Trump coin and proudly displayed it in his office until we kicked his ass to the curb.
Who's that, Huizinga?
No, I'm talking about real GM at work.
Oh, I thought you meant the Dolphins.
So this guy, I don't know where this cult leader status comes from, but he has it. Like, you talk about charismatic. Hey, let me tell you something. If he really wants to win America completely 100% over, go to the black church and start preaching, and then he'll literally have them eating out of his hand. Cause this country, we love us some charismatic preachers. They don't have to say one thing correct. We just love us some charismatic preachers. And if this guy could even sell 10 pair of these shoes for $400, you mentioned him selling, somebody buying them for $9,000.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, think about how many people are lining up to do that. When he's doing these rallies and people have these shoes, or they're pre-ordering these shoes, or whatever the hell they're doing, bro, 9,000 times 100. Like, this man about to make some serious bank. And I'm just saying, man, is the mentality of people are just so brainwashed that they just allow stuff like this. All you could do is laugh. I agree with Mike. He will be reelected again. I mean, it ain't. Yep. It's he will be reelected again. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. I don't know. I'm done, man. I'm about to mute out, man. I'm trying to finish this work I'm doing.
So Donald Trump, in the piece, it shows like a number of grifting items that he sold. that all had issues. But one of the latest things he sold was NFT, and the same claim there, it's sold out. NFTs are digital. You don't sell out of digital stuff. It's perpetual product. So again,
Oh God,
this is
that's
how
so
you play.
true. That's
This
so
is how
true.
you play people into believing in a narrative. He knows it's not going to sell. He knows the diehards that are going to buy it, which he's already calculated who those people are. He makes the target amount that, and then when he hits around that range, oh, I sold out. So it looks good.
But you know
That's
what
the
you're not
game that's
thinking,
being
man,
played.
Cat? You
What's
know
up?
what you're not thinking?
What's up?
I put out something. I don't think it's gonna sell. I make 10 of them. I sell those 10. I make it seem like it's the greatest thing in the world. Then I put sold out. What does that build?
Oh, I know it'll build anticipation and want for people to want to buy it because it's a fear of missing out.
Then the next time I put out 1,000,
Yeah,
then I say sold out, and I say not coming again until 2025. And then miraculously in August of 2024, oh, we just happened to find these in a warehouse. We didn't know where these 10,000 pair came from. Flood the market. I've been wanting one of these for my kid. Do you have any in toddler size? Now, and you guys keep thinking, it's just the redneck morons and the crazy teabaggers that love Trump. Don't forget, when Kaepernick was trying to kneel, every single owner was on Trump's dia. They were all there with him. All the rich whites love him too. The only ones that don't are Hollywood, and they weird, and they over there doing weird stuff that Cat Williams is talking about. We ain't gonna get into all that. But trust me, he has the rich and the poor, which is why he's going to win.
Right,
I'll shut up.
he's not gonna win, but what?
All right.
It's not even gonna be close. I don't even think. But we'll see. November's
Hey,
right around the corner.
you'll learn. You'll learn. And when it happens, I want you to come on here and say, Mike is right, has swallowed. Everything I thought in my mind has been swallowed. You got to come out here and say that foolishness.
All right, so Ricardo, what's your view on this?
When this one of them times, I hope that you're wrong and me and Cat is right.
I hope you're right too.
We don't want this man, this great grifter that we know as Donald Trump, to be selling $40 shoes that is made in China. You know how he always says China like it's like some brand new word. Those are 400 shoes. When you've like this look like something not even I wouldn't be like the strippers will wear, but it looked kind of like a stripper-esque type of whatchamacallit shoes. Like really, people, this is what you're wasting your $9,000. Is the Donald Trump shoes, gold shoes. I could take that $9,000 and do me something. You know what I mean? I'll go there because I there's so much.
As long as I could come.
So I mean, come on, man. Like, this is what we're doing. But I must say, he is genius. If I could give him one thing, and he's always been that way. I've seen Donald Trump put money. I've seen his pictures on buildings. I've seen him on an airplane. I've seen him on God, he knows what stuff. So he's a marketing genius. I would give him that. But why is it? And I still don't understand people are that brain dumb to. Why would you take hard working money? You have to bend over bend over backwards to then take it to give a rich multi-billionaire that to then fund him, and then as the people say in the commentary, his lawyers. Come on, people, are you guys that brainwashed? This called this mega group, they're brainwashed to be taking their hard working money to fund this. He knows what he was doing. I just that he released it the day or 2 days after the whole judgment, the whole judicial thing went about in terms of him paying back the $3. He is a smart genius. I have to hand it to him. These people eat up everything out of his hand. If this man says, "Hey, I'm gonna go tomorrow to go something, and I'm gonna bring God, he knows who. They're all gonna line up at the end of the day and be like, he is not a bad man. He's not gonna do. It's like I don't get. It's like it's over these people's heads. It's like crazy. It's beyond bizarre. I mean, I've never in my lifetime thought I would see this. But hey, like I said, I'm popcorn. We have a couple, if not a whole bunch of months to go. I'm going to see how November plays out because be surprised. I want to be surprised, but not too surprised. If this is where we're heading to, where he's that desperate, where you're releasing a gold shoe that's worth $40, but you're going to sell it for $400. Hey, I tip my DT. You know what you're doing. At the end of the day, it comes down to who goes in that booth, who's going to make that decision. If these people who are, because it's not just the shoes, I believe, I've seen this on record because I've seen it on TV. There's another woman, Sunny Owls, that she is like doing a GoFundMe, and all is at almost $250,000, all because she did not like how the judge put in the final statement that he's liable to paying all these bills, and she literally people already literally funding the GoFundMe, and I'm saying to myself, are you serious? But hey, listen, if it please y'all happy, go ahead and be stupid and spend y'all money. It's y'all money. What do I know? Why should I tell you spend your money? You want to spend your money? Hey, people, do what you do. Hey, it's just like me, and digress. But if you're being in a strip club and you throwing your $1, hey, throw your $1 at them strippers. If you're happy, who am you not money? Go ahead and do it. Please yourselves. But this is crazy. This is absolutely mind-numbing. This drifting and fleecing and all that manipulation. And it's like the brainwashed people can't get out of that mentality that this is all for show and he can get away with it because he's Donald. Come on, wake up, people. Wake the hell up. Like, wake up. Crazy.
So two things I want to say. One of the things that was reported, Donald Trump, all politicians, they raise money from regular people. So you get on a list. And once they get you on the list and they get the okay to charge, like, hey, what about donating $5 or $10? And you're thinking, okay, yeah. And it says one-time charge. However, from Trump, when you donated the $5 and you gave them your card, they continued to charge and charge and charge. And a lot of people didn't realize it until way after the fact. And, it just seems like every corner is, I need money, money. Also, the report came out the other day on fundraising for the Republicans and for the Democrats, Biden. Biden did a record number of fundraising last month. The RNC has yet to report their fundraising at the moment. So, and it's increased ever since, Trump had that lawsuit. It's just increased more for Biden, and Biden has outperformed all the political rivals as far as like everyone that was in the Republican primary, including Nikki Haley, and.
Uh-oh, what happened?
Back still there, man. It just went out. What
Yeah,
happened?
sound like you went out.
I thought my phone went off again. I was like,
Yeah,
man, I'm tired of signing out.
Yeah, that was like an awkward pause. Van Cat, we
It's
can't.
all right. That's Trump trying to block Van Cat. I told you he's already beaten. He's beating you on your own channel, Van Cat. What you gonna do?
Man.
Oh, here you go, come from another device.
Hello?
Yeah.
Welcome back.
No,
Hey,
I
Trevor was
think my
talking trash
internet.
about you.
Yeah, I expect that. My internet dropped on me. I don't know what the hell happened there, but
It was
it's
Trump.
yeah. I feel like it was too.
Yep, your Wi-Fi was swallowed.
Is MD back on?
MD.
Yeah, I'm here, man. I'm going through a crisis right now, but I'm here though.
Oh, you're going through a crisis. Oh, okay. If you wanna,
Yeah.
if you wanna say
No,
your piece.
I say real quick. Hey, man, if Trump don't win Super Duck this year, I'm calling foul. That's all I'm gonna say. like what? This is 3 now.
Yeah.
Yo, he's a professional
wow.
duck.
Hey, but I tell you, you better get you some white nationalist ones right now because they're gonna be worth a lot of money in a couple years. I'm gonna try to get me some white nationalist ones. I'll tell you that.
I ain't paying $9,000, but if I find some on sale, I might cop them.
Yeah, I'm gonna get me a pair and go to StockX.
As soon as it rains, it's gonna fall right apart. So.
White nationalist ones.
That's why I'm gonna put them in plastic and seal them.
You said putting them in plastic is I'm done.
Hey, bro, in 10 years, an old racist white man's gonna come meet with my old racist. I'm gonna have an old racist white man that does my business with old racist white people, and he gonna be like, "I've got these racist ones." And they're gonna be like, "Oh my God, 3 million! I've been looking all over for these. My bank account is swallow." I just want to say swallow. That's just hilarious to me. I'm sorry.
Any excuse.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. All right. So we're gonna go to the next segment, and that is the lame duck for the second week in a row, actually. Donald Trump, which is crazy. All right. So the next segment, we're gonna look at political news, what's going on in the news. We'll be back.
Now to the international outrage over the death of Russian opposition leader Alexei Navalny. The prominent critic of Vladimir Putin died today in a Russian penal colony where he was serving a 19-year prison term on politically motivated charges. CBS's Weijia Jiang is at the White House where the president is blaming Putin.
President Biden says he's outraged over the death of Alexei Navalny, a fierce political rival of Vladimir Putin. Russian officials claim 47-year-old Navalny collapsed after a short walk inside a Siberian prison and died shortly after.
Make no mistake, Putin is responsible for Navalny's death.
The president praised Navalny for fighting against the corruption that ultimately claimed his life.
He was so many things that Putin was not. He was brave, he was principled.
Just yesterday, Navalny appeared well during a video-linked court appearance, even laughing and making jokes with the judge. Navalny grew popular after he ran for mayor of Moscow in 2012 and denounced the election as rigged. He called Putin's party one of crooks and thieves, but his courage to speak out was costly. In 2017, he was assaulted with a green dye that left a serious chemical burn in his right eye. 2 years later, he was jailed for organizing unauthorized protests, then suddenly became sick. Navalny suspected he was poisoned with a nerve agent. And in 2020, doctors confirmed he was poisoned again after he plunged into fits of agony aboard a flight forced to make an emergency landing in Siberia. After making a dramatic recovery, Navalny told 60 Minutes he was certain who was to blame.
You have said you think that Mr. Putin's responsible.
I don't think, I'm sure that he's responsible.
Mourners across Russia paid their respects, though Moscow officials warned against protesting. In 2022, Navalny made a video to his millions of followers in case he turned up dead. If they decide to kill me, he said, it means that we are incredibly strong. Hours after his death was reported, Navalny's wife Yulia spoke at a security conference in Germany, where many world leaders are gathered. She told them she almost canceled her appearance, but then thought about what he would have done in her place. On Wednesday, Navalny posted a Valentine's Day message to her, writing, "I feel that you are with me every second, and I love you more and more."
Tonight, President Biden says the U.S. is considering a number of options for consequences in response to Navalny's death. He also says he hopes that it will convince House Republicans to pass more aid to Ukraine, which has been at war with Russia for nearly 2 years. Jerika.
Weijia Jiang, thank you.
Okay, so I'm going to ask this distinguished panel, what do we think killed that guy?
You mean who? And we all know it was Putin. That is a man. There's a lot of people that walk around acting like they really about that, acting like they really with it, acting like they really gangsters for what they believe in. That man did. Wow. Wow. If there isn't a movie about him in the next 5 years, I don't know what we're doing. He needs to be in textbooks. He needs to be taught. People act like Putin ain't terrifying, bro. Putin is terrifying. And this man spit in Putin's eye even as they threw acid in his. Good Lord. That is a man. That's all I have to say about that.
All right, Trevor, what are your thoughts on the story we just saw?
I got nothing. I ain't having the Russians coming after me. I mean, it writes itself. I mean, it literally writes itself. The only thing I will say that bothers me is Biden saying, America's going to take action.
No, they're not.
On what basis, though? I mean, okay. It's implied. Everybody's safe to say we probably know what happened, but until you have actual factual evidence, like, what are you doing? You can't. Like, what are you gonna do on hearsay or just a gut feeling or an assumption? What can you really do?
How many times? You saw how many times that guy was poisoned?
Yeah. Hey, man. They can't stop a cop from shooting at a car that an acorn dropped on. You think they gonna stop Putin? You think they gonna stop Putin? Man, get out of here, man, please.
All right. MD, are you available?
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah, I'm reluctant though. I'm gonna tell you that.
Trevor said it as a joke, but that was scary for real.
Oh man.
It's funny. It's funny how people, especially like the modern day Republican Party, how people damn near idolize this person and don't want to realize the underlying issue when it comes to what Russia is today. Like I'll admit, I was a victim of that for a long time. I was like, hey, Putin is trying to change the aspect of Russia, and Putin believes in capitalism, blah blah blah, this and that. At the end of the day, I know who he is deep down. You know what I mean? And it showed. You got people, and I don't want to name no name, but you got people trying to justify, oh, Prigozhin was killed because some grenades blew up on the plane. Yeah, I'm sitting here looking at the tape, just like you looking at the tape. The tail of the plane is gone. If the grenades was in the body of the plane, I don't see any physical damage of the body of the plane. Why is the tail missing? And people justify that. You got Tucker Carlson going and saying, look at the grocery stores, look at the subway system in Moscow. Moscow is the most beautiful city in the world. Blah blah blah, this and that. And at the same time, this man so happily just collapsed and died. And you expect me to believe? At the end of the day, again, I keep touting it, and it's a long stay slogan of mine. Conservatism is dead. This ain't Ronald Reagan's Republican Party. You can kill that. It's over with. And this is just another prime example of showing the discontent of a large majority of the quote unquote Republican Party and the way they feel about populism. That's basically what it is. You know what I'm saying? That's the type of America that they want. They want an authoritarian rule based on what they perceive to be their ideal. And a prime example or a person that they look toward or inspired to be is Vladimir Putin. Because he can merge the two. He can merge Western conceptualism when it comes to economics and a social ideology. And they believe Trump can do the same thing. And that's where we at. It's sad, but that's where we at. So I call upon y'all so we can hold a seance to bring back the spirit of Ronald Reagan so we can try to stop this.
Hey, y'all laughing. I'd be down. All Ronald Reagan wanted to do was to take all the money and piss on everybody else. This dude is a first
good old fashioned republicanism.
Exactly. Hey, y'all acting like Putin is a first world Saddam Hussein. Y'all think he playing. He is not.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I am terrified. I want no parts.
Hey, MD, I'm assuming the name you didn't want to say was your partner over there. He
just come right out with it. My God, Trevor.
He's justifying this, huh?
Yeah, because again, when you go so far down into a rabbit hole, you got one or two choices. You could try to scrape and crawl your way back out, or you can go deeper and hope that there's something on the other side. You know what I mean? And I think that's where he at right now. He's digging. To the point where it's a descent to madness, just like Alice in Wonderland.
That white rabbit ain't white on the other side.
All right, so let's go to Ricardo. Any words on this, Ricardo?
Very shocking and very very telling news as for what is transpiring right now. This is just following the pattern of like that plane crash that they had with the other leader that spoke up against Putin, and he ended up dying from that plane crash, and we still don't know how or if it was a bomb or whatnot. Putin is a force to be reckoned with. We'll give you that, because when it comes to him, it's like you see a number of mysterious things happening, and you can't pinpoint or figure out why they're really taking place. But it's kind of like, I'm gonna scratch my head in this one and go, well, that's definitely smells like Putin doing, but we're not quite sure. What I will state is this is one of my biggest fears during this election year. I hope it doesn't come into fruition, but I don't want to say it, I foresee something going to happen in the next coming months regarding Putin and the involvement of, I wouldn't say the US, but if there's one thing that's always taken down a society or taken down great men, is that one thing that we always know. And whether you guys choose to say it or not say it,
a woman?
That's how they're gonna get Putin, and how this comes into being is because nobody can be close to that man. I feel like he has that one person that he's really close to, and that betrayal becomes that one thing that always gets the men in the very end. And I'll leave it at that. But it will happen close to or around the election time. As for how it manifests past that, I don't know, but it's kind of foretelling and scary. But I feel like there's so much unraveling right now, and we're peeling off layers that even I myself cannot pinpoint. But I've seen so much stuff happen, like the CIA's involvement in so many things. There's so much things going on in the rest of the world as well, not including the shocking details we found out today about Haiti, where the Haitian deceased president's wife was involved. There's so much things that we're going to see happen, and we're just going to be like, wait, what in the hell? That don't even make sense. But it kind of does. So nothing surprises me, but I'm getting ready for some number of surprises. Like I said, I have my popcorn ready. I just want to be, sitting back, but not being shocked, but kind of be like, hey, I told y'all so. So I'll leave that at that. That's all I got to say.
Okay. All right. So we're gonna do about a couple more and then sign off for the evening. I am going to debut a new segment here. This is word salad. We know politicians love giving us some word salads. So let's take a look at a word salad right here.
Nobody can do it like me. Nobody can do it like me. Honestly.
Nobody's stronger than me.
Nobody has better toys than I do.
There's nobody bigger or better at the military than I am.
Nobody loves the Bible more than I do. Nobody builds walls better than me. Nobody's better to people with disabilities than me. Nobody's fighting for the veterans like I'm fighting for the veterans.
There's nobody that's done so much for equality as I have.
There's nobody more pro-Israel than I am. There's nobody more conservative than me.
There is nobody that respects women more than I do. Nobody would be tougher on ISIS than Donald Trump.
Because nobody's ever had crowds like Trump has had.
There's nobody that understands the horror of nuclear better than me. And nobody even understands it but me. It's called devaluation. The sale of the uranium that nobody knows what it means. I know what it means.
Nobody knows more about trade than me.
Nobody knows the game better than I do.
Nobody in the history of this country has ever known so much about infrastructure as Donald Trump. I know the H-1B. I know the H-2B. Nobody knows it better than me.
Nobody knows politicians better than I do.
Nobody knows more about taxes than I do. Nobody knows more about debt than I do.
Nobody knows the system better than me.
All right, that's a classic word salad right there. Politicians, they just give you some words to get through. So we'll check out more of that in upcoming shows. One last thing I want to show before we go into the nightcap. What President's Day was yesterday, and every year scholars get together. We talked about this in the Obama-Trump show that we did, episode 6, where we looked at the numbers from the voting of the scholars over the presidents, all 45 presidents over the decades. So they made a new list and a new voting happened. So let's take a look at the latest voting on the president's ranking system.
When there's a crash, I hope it's going to be during this next 12 months. Because I don't want to be Herbert Hoover. The one president, I just don't want to be Herbert Hoover.
Okay, that was Donald Trump actively rooting against the well-being of this country and the American people, saying he hopes the economy crashes this year because he, quote, doesn't want to be Herbert Hoover. Well, Trump got his wish. A new poll out today shows that he is not Herbert Hoover. He's actually way, way worse. The poll of historians and scholars ranks every president in U.S. history from best to worst. And while Herbert Hoover received the 36th spot, Trump is ranked dead last at 45. Behind the likes of Richard Nixon, Franklin Pierce, even William Henry Harrison, who died 31 days after taking office. Joining me now is NBC News presidential historian Michael Beschloss. Michael, you got to be pretty terrible to be ranked below James Buchanan, Civil War failure, pre-Civil War failure, and a guy who only lived for 31 days as president. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I'd say so. And Richard Nixon, who would have been impeached and probably put in jail if it weren't for a pardon by Gerald Ford, don't you think?
Well, let's talk about these rankings. I'm obsessed with these rankings, by the way. I cannot wait for them to come out every year. I don't know if you're on this committee, but I'm obsessed with it.
No, I'm
Here
not.
are the top 10. You're not on it. Well, here are the top 10. Abraham Lincoln, who always ranks up the top, usually George Washington here at the top. FDR moving up into number 2. He moved up. Yep. Jefferson's still there, despite the gulag with an enslaved person under his bedroom. Barack Obama jumps up to number 7. Harry Truman, Eisenhower. Kennedy standing up there at 10. Lyndon Johnson at 9. Right. I mean, Woodrow Wilson used to always get in the top 10. He used to drive me nuts. I'm like, this guy was a horribly racist monster, but he dropped out, right? So he's gone down. I'm interested in some of the movement. Andrew Jackson used to get ranked highly. He's dropped out of the top 10, which I think is a good thing. He's now at 21. He's down 12 places since 2015. And as I mentioned, Woodrow Wilson, he's down 5 points since 2015. Right. Some of those are good. What do you think about the idea of Barack Obama being so high? Because I think he used to be 11 and now he's 7. He's moved up.
Well, I think he has moved up, and I think he will move up further. And as far as Andrew Jackson is concerned, it shows that, historians can do the right thing. It takes us a while. He was president in the early 19th century. Yeah. And
let me show you this. There was a Nazi march this weekend in Nashville that really was reminiscent of what happened in the 1930s. We are in the year that is reminiscent of 1924, the year that the Democratic National Convention was nicknamed the Klan Bake. That was 3 years before Donald Trump's father got arrested at a Klan riot. So that period in the 1920s feels a lot like today. Do you agree with that?
I totally agree. 1924 was the apex of the power of the Ku Klux Klan in America. Half of the Democratic delegates at that convention were either members of, leaders of, or controlled by the Ku Klux Klan. The Democratic Party, in contrast today, was a Southern racist party. Thank God we've come that far, but the Nazis and the Klan are still there.
The last thing I've got to bring up, because it is a little bit fun. So the rankings by by ideology. Donald Trump among the Republicans who made the rankings of best and worst presidents, they ranked him at 41. The Democrats ranked him at the bottom, 45. Independents, bottom. Conservatives, 43. Liberals, 45. Moderates, 45. Everyone agreed, including the Republican rankers, that he's terrible. He couldn't get higher than 41, even with the Republican rankers. What do you make of that?
Yeah, I just can't imagine why someone who was twice impeached and wanted to suspend the Constitution and waged a coup d'etat, an insurrection that might have led to the deaths of leaders of Congress would rank so low.
A new ranking, and I'm going to add, in my view, a highly questionable ranking of presidents, is turning heads after Biden came in higher than both Donald Trump and Ronald Reagan in his wildest dreams. The survey was done by the Presidential Greatness Project, who claim to be the foremost organization of social science experts in presidential politics. They may be the foremost example of the disconnect between ivory tower academia and real people. That aside, Abe Lincoln ranked first. Okay, fair. Then comes Obama at 7th, and Biden came in 14th, actually beating Ronald Reagan, who came in 16th, and Trump dead last. Look, Lisa, where to begin? This is infuriating in so many ways. 154 respondents. They are the ivory tower elites who in no way represent the view of the American people.
No, but it also goes to show you, though, how history can be written and some of it can be built off a lie as well. But no, this list is bogus. Everyone knows that, Obama's not that high. He was a terrible president. But I think on this president, I think on this.
When you're doing art critique and historical analysis of things like greatness, it is in the end subjective. Now, it does say something that the people who are respondents here, they are experts. So respondents included current and recent members of the President's and Executive Politics section of the American Political Science Association, which is the foremost organization of social science experts in presidential politics, as well as scholars who had recently published peer-reviewed academic research in key related scholarly journals or academic presses. 525 respondents were invited to participate, and 154 usable responses were received. Okay. So these are certainly experts. They know infinitely more about presidents and presidencies than any one of those clowns on the Fox propaganda network. But in the end, it's still just their opinion, right?
Okay. All right. So that's a look there at the latest presidential ranking. We'll start with MD this time. MD, what did you take away from that video? He must still be away. Okay. Ricardo, what would you say about that video there?
I'm not that the least bit surprised by it, but it's just kind of shocking that he's not a little bit slightly higher.
Who's slightly higher?
No, I'm surprised Donald Trump isn't slightly higher than the number he got. But he dead last. I know it's gonna hurt his ego a little bit.
Yeah.
He doesn't like being last for nothing.
Yeah.
But it's one of them things where, I mean, you can't for him, he has to understand there is certain things or certain aspects that you have to follow and guidelines that you have to follow to be in a slightly higher category. And for him, he's not going to get that because there's so much stuff that he has done so wrong that he could have done correct the whole time. And history is going to judge him by that, and I don't think he's prepared for it. But ego runs rampant, and when you have somebody who's an egomaniac, this is the kind of thing that we're going to get. And it is scary to see what he's trying to do, where he's trying to go, and how the people behind it is trying to make him get there. So let's just pray and hope that nothing that we think is going to happen or should go into fruition happens, but we can't be surprised if it does. But let's just hope, fingers crossed, it doesn't.
Okay. All right, Trevor. Any thoughts on the list? Anything that you may agree with, disagree with, or anything you saw that interests you?
So it was ironic that again this morning on my way to work, I was watching a Watch Mojo that I find myself stuck on that channel. Their top 10 lists or whatever they do, they happen to rank the worst presidents in U.S. history. And Donald Trump came in on number 3 on the list. So it's funny. And the guy that they had ranked ahead of him was the guy that died, a couple days into his presidency. So that was funny. I forget who took the number 1 spot. George Bush was number 10. So it's funny that he ranks last on this list. But so I'm in the background doing work, so I wasn't really watching the screen. And then I click over, and what do I see but this blonde ass hair on this black woman? That just instantly made me tune out, man. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Once I saw that, I like completely tuned out, and I'm like, I don't want to hear nothing else you gotta say. Like for real. Ugh. We gotta stop.
I agree with that. I don't know why black people are trying to mimic or do white attributes. That makes no sense. But whatever. All right. So, MD, are you still there or?
Yeah, man. I'm still here, man. But like I said, I'm going through something right now. I'm stuck on the side of the road.
Oh, okay. All right. No problem. Yeah. All right, then. So, we're gonna just go ahead and wrap up the show now.
Oh, Mike left? Oh yeah.
Yeah, Mike's off the panel. He said his piece, I guess. Yeah, so we're just gonna wrap up the show now. So we'll end it with the nightcap here. So I'll see you on the other end.
We want to zero in now on some of the dysfunction we've been watching unfold on Capitol Hill. There are some very senior, high-level House Republicans that are not coming back to Congress after this term, including Mike Green. He's the chair of the Homeland Security Committee, and Cathy Morris Rogers. She's the chair of Energy and Commerce. The veteran lawmakers are among nearly a dozen Republicans leaving the chamber. The exits follow a historic year of dysfunction, including the ouster of then House Speaker Kevin McCarthy and the failure of a landmark border bill that would have provided billions in aid to Ukraine and Israel that Speaker Johnson refused to take up. CNN's Melanie Zanona has details on this story. So, Melanie, what are you hearing from House Republicans who've decided that their time on Capitol Hill is up?
Yeah, well, there are a lot of different factors that go into a decision like this. It is a very personal one. Members have cited family reasons. Some members are running for higher office. But one thing that me and my colleague Annie Greer really picked up on when we were reporting this story is that there is a deep level of frustration with just how dysfunctional this House majority has been this session of Congress, from all of the chaotic speaker drama to even just their struggle to pass basic procedural votes on the House floor. Just take a look at what some members told us on the record. Ken Buck, he's one of those retiring members, said, "We're not doing serious things." Carlos Jimenez, who was an ally of Kevin McCarthy, told us, "I thought that some of our members would be smarter." And Steve Womack, a veteran lawmaker, said, "We are fractured." And it's not just the number of Republicans who are retiring. It is really the caliber of the members who are retiring. There are 5 committee chairs alone who are deciding to call it quits. And that includes Kathy McMorris Rodgers. She is the chairwoman of the Energy and Commerce Committee, and she's not even term limited in that post. It's a very powerful position that many members spend their whole careers working to achieve. And then there's Mike Gallagher. He's only 39 years old. He was long seen as a rising star in the GOP, but he announced that he was retiring shortly after he voted against the impeachment of Alejandro Mayorkas, the Homeland Security Secretary. So there's a lot of concern, Boris, right now about what this means for the Republican Party. A lot of these members have a ton of institutional knowledge that they will be taking out the door with them. And there's also concern for that governing wing. And when you have those members leaving, in their place, you have more hardline members like Bob Good. So just a lot of frustration, a lot of concerns about what this means for the GOP right now, Boris.
All right. So on that video there, they were just discussing a number of Republican, high-ranking Republican members of the House is looking pretty much to end their political careers. Some that are even not binded by term limits are leaving. And obviously, it's because of the political environment that's going on right now. And it's pretty toxic. So a lot of GOP members are calling it quits and retiring. Ricardo, what do you feel about that sentiment and the video we just saw?
Well, we're not the least bit surprised. I mean, that class that came in onto the floor all over the damn place. And so, you know, there's a lot of infighting, but then again, that would have come about from when McCarthy was lobbying to become the Speaker of the House, and he sold his soul to the devil and made promises that he knew he couldn't fulfill. But just to get into that space of him being, you know, where he needed to be at, he sold his soul, lied, you know, kiss ass, you know, did a whole bunch of stuff. So the dysfunction is apparent because of that. Now, as for, you know, most of these people retiring before November or by November to give up their terms, listen, if that's the case where they feel the need to like bow out gracefully, I applaud y'all, but y'all had it coming, because it was like you did a number of stuff that didn't even make sense to begin with, and y'all could have done better. And in the end, you're just gonna fade away like, you know, nothing, like no one really give a damn. So, I mean, I wish them well. Let's just see what happens in November, because I'm sure there's many more to come in terms of many people like bowing out gracefully because they can't work with certain people. And it is what it is. It's the life of politics, and we'll just see how this pans out. But, you know, Democrats, I need y'all to wake up and smell the coffee, and y'all need to be doing y'all part too, because there's so much dysfunctionality on y'all part, but not so much like the GOP is right now. So, hey.
An amazing level of dysfunction. They're just not able to get anything done. And this is literally from members in the House saying that. It's just crazy. Trevor, I know you don't follow everything on politically wise, but just the sentiment that you have Donald Trump running, he's pretty much changed the temperature of politics. Well, I wouldn't say he changed it, but he was a big catalyst in it. It was already changing before him. And now you have all these members of the GOP, fed up and just throwing in the towel and just ending their careers. What do you see that as a positive, like getting out with the old, in with the new, or is this like a problem that you would see?
So two parts to that. And yeah, you're right. I don't really follow much of this stuff. That's why I listen to y'all. But so obviously the place is dysfunctional, but the dysfunction didn't just start happening. Um, and I'm okay with the old guys leaving because at some point you get too old to be making decisions. I mean, nobody wants 60, 70, 80-year-olds making decisions for 20, 30, 40-year-olds. Because it just doesn't work. Like their stances are different from the younger guys. It's time to get some fresh blood in there. But the way I see this, what I see going on is kind of like what's going on with the whole Vince McMahon situation, where people know that something's getting ready to happen, and that's why everybody's bowing out gracefully. Because come on, man, these guys are career politicians. You couldn't move them for anything. They've a lot of them have lived through every scandal imaginable. They've been in office for every scandal imaginable. Now all of a sudden they want to leave just because they can't get along with somebody. They've always not been able to get along. I think something is about to happen that is going to make a lot of people look stupid. And it's one of them things like, hey, let me get out while my reputation is still good. Let me ride off into the sunset and let somebody else deal with this bullshit. That's how I see that.
Okay, I mean, I actually can't disagree with that. Yeah, I can see exactly where you're coming from, and it's logical. It makes sense. Yeah, so we'll have to see what's going to happen down the road. Is the foreseeable future of bad things? Is it another MAGA loss, or even with that, another MAGA win? I mean, a MAGA win where certain people don't agree with that ideology of Donald Trump or whatever, and they just want to be out of there. So yeah, it could go either way.
Yeah,
So it'll
I
be
agree with that.
interesting to see.
Yeah,
Did you
yeah.
all
Let,
have?
let me see. Yeah, let me say
Yeah.
this, and then we can end on it. You absolutely right, Venkat. You got to look at it both ways, because as much as we talk about establishment politicians and et cetera, this may be the one time where maybe we still want the establishment politicians to be in the place, because there's a likelihood that they can be replaced with more MAGA Republicans. And depending on how you look at it, that ain't a good thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if they're so done with how the Republican Party is going, is there enough of a defense for another slew of the old guard GOP conservative Republicans to come in and take their place? That's yet to be seen. Or you can look at it on the other token, just like we seen with George Santos' seat. Maybe it can flip Democrat, and then the Republicans will really be in trouble. So it's a myriad of scenarios that could take place for the good or for the bad. Like I said again, depending on how you look at it. I would argue that it's the old guard GOP basically forfeiting what conservatism is in 2024. Again, conservatism is dead. Y'all think I'll be playing when I say that? We're seeing in real time conservatism dying. It's on its last breaths in this society, and it's going to be up to people that truly believe in conservatism in order for them to either save it or just let it be and let it rest in peace. That's yet to be seen. 2024 is going to be a hell of a year. That's all I know.
Definitely agree with that one. All right, so we're going to come to the point where we're going to give our final sign-offs. So we're going to start with Mr. Straight Talk. So your sign off.
Yeah, let me go ahead and close out so I can get out of here. Great show tonight. Everybody in the panel, everybody in the chat. I just say just keep doing your thing, man. Just keep doing your thing, and keep telling the truth. I mean, it is what it is. Even though the show's being censored, the show's being suppressed, you haven't let it mess you up as far as the quality of the show. So that I really do appreciate that. I do want to make sure and tell everybody, if you haven't had a chance last night, to go check out the tribute show to Fish. Just a trip down memory lane, basically. So please be sure to check that out. Also check out Man Talk Monday from yesterday. We debuted Mike's top 10 list. Just phenomenal. And the last thing I will say before I go, we do have Wrestling with Reality tomorrow. I'm thinking I'm gonna start it at 6:30 because I literally only got 10 slides. We're literally just going over the card for this Saturday and one story, and that's it. So I do, but this
And you're gonna wake up,
huh?
You're gonna wake up in the morning?
Yeah, I'll be up to watch it.
Okay.
Oh, you gonna watch it live?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Hell,
Yeah,
I'm not.
Because I got something going on that night. That's why I was so happy. I hated when I saw it say 5 a.m., but I was also happy that it was coming on where I'd be up to watch it, because we got to go somewhere later on that day. So that was good. What press conference, Donnie? So
they're talking about the Rock and Cody and the slap, probably.
See, the thing is,
which was horrible.
That's already gone.
Embarrassing.
I had a whole spiel for that, but so many other things have happened. But like,
I just want to say one thing about that, though. That was horrible, but I like the idea of it. I wish, like, every WrestleMania they would have that. Like, have a press conference just like that leading up to hype up and, get people excited for what the WrestleMania main event will be. Just because they didn't do it right this time around doesn't mean they shouldn't do it again.
I'm not going down that alley with you.
Okay, I didn't know that was a point of contention. Oh my God.
I'm not going down that road with you. But like I was saying, I know you work on Wednesdays now, so definitely for this day in wrestling history, I need you to be there. So, because what it is, your memory gonna have to lead that, because I cannot remember it. I just cannot remember it, but it's so important. I just can't remember it. For some reason, I don't remember watching that. And then we got the card Saturday, which is only 4 matches. So so tomorrow night's wrestling show shouldn't be long at all. So I'm gonna just go ahead and start it at 6:30. Give everybody a chance to settle in. I know me and MD could rock it until you get there, because I know the story that I'm going to ask him about at the beginning is probably going to take a while, until you get there. And then the last thing I do have to say is signed, sealed, and delivered. It was made official last night. March 25th.
Oh boy.
You have the great debate. The political prophet amongst men, MD, will be taking on the El Capitan, Captain Manosphere himself, Wayne. And the topic of that debate is, does the Black Manosphere derive from the incel community? It will be moderated by yours truly, but that debate will take place March 25th. It will be the first non-biblical debate that I do on this channel. These two have been chomping at the bit, so it is signed, sealed, and delivered. It is going down check out Man Talk Monday last night. They got into it a little bit on what we a preview of what we were going to see. Wayne is ready, MD is ready, so it's going to be a good one. Hey, I can't wait for this one. That's all I'm saying. It will be the Man Talk Monday show that week.
Are you gonna
March 25th?
are you gonna have
Monday.
Are you gonna have more debates that are not biblical, or is this a one-off?
Hey, whoever want to debate, they could just hit me up and they could debate. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say.
Can't wait, man. I can't wait.
Whoever want to debate, just hit me up. But these two been going at it. These two been going at it for so long. So we finally made it official last night. So there you go. But I did want to make that official before we got off of here. That's how I was working on that in the background. So that is going on. But again, great show, fellas. I'm out of here. I'll see y'all tomorrow, Wrestling with Reality. And then we have a debate this Thursday. The first debate of a two-parter for Stacey Mobley versus Jeremy Dunbar. So that will be taking place this Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern. So, hey, I'm out of here.
Trevor, you want to answer that? He's asked it twice. When is St. Louis returning to the society?
Just stay tuned to the channel. That's all I got to say. Just stay tuned.
Okay.
Just stay tuned to the channel. All right, fellas. I'm out of here.
All right, peace, man.
Peace.
Peace, Trevor. All right, Ricardo, your final sign off.
Great show. Quite a lot has happened in the past week or two. Just overall, nothing surprises me anymore. It surprises anybody that's regarding what we're seeing politically. Again, I think we're becoming desensitized to a number of things, but at the same length and breath, because we're so fickle as a society, we're more likely going to forget some things or remember some things. I always remember some things as we go along, but great show. TFP will accelerate as we go along. I'm sure we'll gain more traction. It's just that we're so outspoken as a group that probably, Google can't stand us for the sake of us being who we are. But as Black men, I feel the need that we need to say this. We are very versed in politics. We're very versed in current affairs. We're versed in sports and entertainment. We're versed in culture. So, take it or leave it. Whether or not you want to accept it or not accept it, Black people can be multi diverse in many aspects when it comes to certain things. So Google, give our credit when it's due. And Tape Fist Politics, I look forward to seeing great progressions from all of us going forward. So with that, for night, MD, let's hope it works out, man, because I hate you being stuck on the road. And Van Cat, great job on the show, and and my condolences to you and your family regarding your brother, and we're here for you. So peace.
Appreciate that, Ricardo. Appreciate that. All right, MD, final sign off.
Yeah, great show as always. You know what I'm saying? We put in the work over here at TFP. Apologize for not having full participation. I'm on the side of the road. This look like where I'm gonna be at for tonight. So you know what I'm saying? I'm getting settled in, and I'll see y'all tomorrow, Wrestling with Reality, and see y'all next week for another edition of Tape Fist Politics. Hey, let me say this, Vancat.
Yep.
I appreciate you having the strength, having the integrity from a family aspect, putting together this catalog for your brother. I listened to that song, I See the Light, like 10 times straight last night. Like I said, again, I'm a a person that enjoys good music, that's some good music. So I'm glad that you put that in my life as far as giving me a catalog to rock out to as I drive down these roads, because he fired. So shout out to you. Shout out to what you did. And it brings him a voice to everybody else. So I say that on a personal note. But other than that, I'll see y'all tomorrow.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much, MD. Appreciate that. I'd like to thank the entire Straight Talk Society, the world's most dangerous panel, Ricardo, MD, Mike, Trevor, everyone that was in the chat, Donnie. First time I've seen Donnie, but thanks for being in the chat. Of course, Tequila. Hope everything's well. Dr. Mia, of course. Wish everything well. Everyone else, of course, Bones, Zay, Wayne. We appreciate everybody for coming out and supporting. Next week's show is going to be the politics of religion. And that's the show that we've been waiting for, and can't wait to get on that one next week. So we'll yeah,
Definitely gonna need Trail front and center for that one.
Yeah, Trail better show up for that show. It's gonna be very lit. I'll give you that.
Yeah, that's gonna be.
We're gonna have to compel Trail in the name of the Holy Spirit to cut his beard off. Well, let's see if we can do
it. Speaking of that.
I'm gonna tell you something. Facial hair is not apostolic. However you want to cut it, it's compromise. I don't care if your leader says you can wear a beard, honey. Beard's nothing more than pride. You're not going to be dipped in Holy Ghost oil and run around looking like the world.
All right, so that'll be next week. The politics of religion. Yeah, I can't thank Ricardo, MD, Mike, Trevor. Can't thank the world's most dangerous panel enough. Whatever I do, I know they do it times two. Thank you, everyone, for joining us again on another TFP Tuesday. We'll see you next week. And until then, peace.
Peace.
She just said a terrible thing. You know what she said? Shout it out, because I don't want to. Okay, you're not allowed to say, and I never expect to hear that from you again. She said, I never expect to hear that from you again. She said he's. That's terrible. Terrible.